Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
I think that Gina and others will appreciate this only in Texas. One day, a very gentle Texas lady was driving across a very high bridge in Austin, Texas area. As she neared the top of the bridge, she noticed a young man that was fixing to jump. Fixing in Texas means has the means or abilities to take action. She stopped her car, rolled down the window and said, "Please don't jump. Think of your dear mother and father." He replied, "My mom and dad are both dead. I'm going to jump." She said, "Well, think of your sweet wife and precious children." He replied, "I'm not married and I don't have any kids." And then she replied, Well, then just remember the Alamo." And he turned and looked at her and said, "What's the Alamo?" And she replied, "What's the Alamo? Well, bless your heart. You just go ahead and jump, you ignorant little Yankee Democrat do-nothing. You're holding up traffic." I love it. Good morning. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. Good morning on a Thursday. We made it this far. Oh, good morning, Zeb at the Ranch on a Thursday. I always look forward to Thursdays. I know Gina does too. And this is Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers that include Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley, and, of course, our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. And now, without further ado, here's Gina.
Good morning, fearless leader, and how art thou? And that was a good story.
I love that about the little old lady because, I can just picture a couple of ladies I know down in Texas that live in the Amarillo area, and they would be just like that.
I can see Helen saying that, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. You have hit the nail on the head.
I'm telling you.
I tell you, there's a classic example of I should have named the lady in the story Helen. Thank you, Gina. I'll do that from now on.
I think you should, yes.
Hey, by the way, it looks like a nice day out there so far.
It is beautiful. The sun is shining, slightly breezy, and according to Michael, this is going to be the best day that we have, so we might as well enjoy it.
Ooh, okay. Well, do we have somebody with the pledge?
We have Miss Jolene on for the pledge and Mr. Michael Rogers on for the weather.
Very good. Jolene, if you would, please, the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, Jolene, don't make yourself a stranger. That was excellent this morning. You are right now one of our favorites. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You are so welcome. Have a good day.
God bless. That was very nice. And ladies and gentlemen, right now it's time to talk to you about Save on Shells. Hello, Anthony. How you doing over there? I'll tell you what, protect the back of your pickup and what's in it. Whether it's tools, groceries, saddles, wood, you name it, anything you got in the back of your truck, protect it with Save on Shells. They've got all the shells at 1835 Overland in Burley. We'll tell you more in a minute, but right now here's Michael Rogers' weather.
Rain for Mother's Day. Sorry. It's called a cold front. It's going to be pulling through the weekend. I'm going to work my way backwards here. You got rain also on Saturday. And that's going to be the coolest day, 54 for the daytime high. Friday, not bad. 60 for the daytime high, sun and clouds. Chance of showers to start in the evening. And then for today, a lot of sun, very little clouds, 66 for the high. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy the weekends. The only weather you got.
Thank you, Michael. Always the best in weather. MichaelRogersWeather.com. And brought to you by Save On Shells. Folks, what are you waiting for? Save On Shells. I went by there yesterday, and I mean reds and greens and grays and whites, and all the colors are there to match your trucks. They've got the best in camper shells right there, and the new ARE shells, the best, and a fantastic selection of used shells, commercial shells for welders and painters, etc. The bed slides. Oh, it's all there. It's all there. Installation, parts, and service with Anthony. Call him at 312-1525. Save On Shells, 1835 Overland in Burley. How do I know so much about them? Well, I'll tell you. I bought one from Save On Shells. We're going to have this good word for Governor Butch Otter and be back with the Livestock Report. Stand by.
Out here, we live by a simple code. We stay true to our family, our friends, our community, true to our values. Governor Butch Otter has been true to us, true to Idaho's conservative values.
I'm Governor Butch Otter. I know that sticking to Idaho's values gets results. That's why so many things that I've set out to do have been accomplished. I kept my promise to provide tax relief to the people of Idaho. It was long overdue, and I've shown that we can run the state on a balanced budget.
Butch cut our taxes by $150 million, helping individuals and families. Butch is fighting to take control of Idaho's water quality standards from the EPA. And even though critics said it couldn't be done, Governor Otter balanced our budget without raising taxes. There's no doubt about Governor Otter's conservative values and who he serves. He serves us.
There's still a lot of work to be done. I need your vote on May 20th, and I'll keep working hard and staying true to our Idaho values.
Paid for by Otter for Idaho, Cordell Church, Brown Creek.
Thank you. Let's bring in Merv May right now, the world's best auctioneer at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Come on in here, Merv.
All right, good set of steer calves there, here to get all 31 moment, 31.
That is the chant of Merv May, along with Lance Udy and the rest of the crew at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Sale time, 10:30 this morning. For more information on the cattle sale, don't forget, 678-9411. Talked to Merv at 6:30 this morning, got him out of bed. He said that the Barrow Ranch over in Montello, Nevada, out there where the Cowboys live, 25 head of mixed cattle coming up, along with Kelly Searle, Moo View Dairy, 35 to 40 head of ripping good 700 to 800 pound Holstein steers. And Merv said that trailer line run is going to be good as always. A lot of folks bringing their cattle into the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue. Sale time 10:30. Again, that number to call, 678-9411. Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Merv May, Lance Udy. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, good set of steer calves there, here to get all 31 moment, 31 going to 32, 2 and a half, 3 and a half, 134, 4 and a half, 5 and a half, 130, 550, 135 and a half, $7.35. Zeb Bell gets bottom again.
Boy, I tell you what. Thank you, Merv. I love to listen to his chant. Hey, by the way, it's time for the tip of the coffee cup. This ought to absolutely shock Gina to death, so because I'm on time with it for a change. And let's hear a little bit of that slurp, shall we, my dear?
That is so good.
There you go. Thank you. The tip of the coffee cup this morning goes to two wonderful people that are going to be celebrating their 50th anniversary this weekend. Calvin and Betty Jo Jones over at Eden. Once again, celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. A tip of the coffee cup to them. Congratulations. Oh, my goodness. We want to tell you about Denny's Restaurant. Now, we are going to be over at Denny's Restaurant at 11:30 on May 22nd for our next lunch bunch. Ooh, yeah. But I'm telling you, Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, and why don't you go to church with Mom and then take her over to Denny's? Oh, my goodness. The meals, the menu, everything fantastic. Services out of this world. Really nice people at 611 Overland in Burley. And I'll tell you what, Mom will just give you a great big grin and a kiss on the cheek, and you're going to be her favorite because you stopped into Denny's Restaurant. Absolutely the wonderful breakfast and lunches and dinners. I tell you, I've never in my life been so happy to just kind of point at the menu and say, bring that, and it's delicious. At Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Absolutely. All right, give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I don't even want to hardly mention this. It's an I told you so, but it's got to be said. I told you about this next story over a year ago. And I said I was very, very concerned, and the naivete of the American public is showing forth. I told you about a growing and very dangerous epidemic that is encroaching itself back into society all around the world, and that's polio. I heard some things yesterday. I listened to some stories this morning, did a little research on what's going on. Polio is coming back in epidemic proportions in Middle Eastern countries. And the fear is that somehow it could be transported with our troops, etc., to the United States, and we could see another polio epidemic in the United States. We've got literally hundreds of thousands to the point of millions of illegal aliens coming into this country. We don't know where from and or how, with no vaccination programs. And yet, we have parents in this country that refuse to vaccinate their children, and with the absolute stupidity in statements like, well, polio's gone, I don't have to worry about it. Well, the reason polio was gone was because of a vaccination program, but now without the vaccination program, you and your children are very susceptible. I don't want to see it happen. I don't want to see your child laying motionless in a bed and never to be able to raise his or her head. I don't want to see your child have to have all the surgeries. I don't want to see your child die. That's what polio does and will do. For those that are unvaccinated, don't give me that story. I know because I've been there. And polio is something that we absolutely cannot let back into our society. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Valley White Home and Ranch, tomorrow, on the 9th, they're going to have the drawing for the Mother's Day Spa giveaway. Oh, Mom is going to love you for if she wins a free 1 hour massage. 1 hour massage? Holy cow, she'll be put into La La Land. And that's from the Sublime Touch. Ooh, she's going to love that if she wins. Better get over there and register her at Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. And they've got other gift ideas like Montana Silversmith jewelry and all the summer clothing. There's all kinds of gifts for Mom at Valley White. And if she's into gardening, yep, that's the place. Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. You stop over and see those really good folks today. Hey, by the way, you won't be in the dark. Can't possibly be in the dark if you go to my friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric. You won't be bumping your toes and saying, oh, rat-a-frats and everything else. Why, just go to the light. They've got all the light bulbs, incandescent light bulbs, outside lighting, all the lamps, all the CFL bulbs. They got everything, so you're in the light. You stop over at Ramsey Heating and Electric. 2600, why in the world am I having trouble with that cough drop? 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. And don't forget, too, they got all the cords, cord ends, fuses, everything for you at Ramsey Heating and Electric, where they always provide warm winters and cool summers. Really, really good folks. Oh, come on. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I don't know how you feel about John Boehner, Speaker of the House, but I've said it on my program before, and I'm even more convinced now that he needs to be replaced. I think there's way too much fraud, phony, charlatan, cronyism, everything with the Obama administration. Fox News went back into the archives of different sound bites and clips of various people, and they did an investigative report on John Boehner and his saying things about Barack Hussein Obama. Well, a year ago, they found the sound bite that he was being interviewed, I believe on ABC, And he was asked what he, John Boehner, thought of Barack Hussein Obama. And he went on and on and on and just railed about how honest and how trusting President Obama was. What? Yeah, this is John Boehner, Republican John Boehner, Speaker of the House John Boehner, that gives sound bites about how he doesn't trust this administration, how they're not honest, how he doesn't trust Obama, how he's not honest, how he doesn't trust Eric Holder, how he's not honest. This is John Boehner. Now, he said he trusts him implicitly. And this goes right back to what I've been telling you on this program for a long, long time. Politicians, why? They'll wave their arms, and they'll stand at the podium and they'll rail on and on about how dastardly the deeds are from the Democrats, and vice versa. And then at 5 o'clock, they'll go have a beer and sit there and eat peanuts and cashews and have a cold Budweiser together back in Washington, D.C. This is, to me, repulsive. Now, there are those in the audience that have criticized me the last time I made this statement a couple of days ago. And they said, well, we have to get along. Why, we have to show a spirit of camaraderie, a spirit of togetherness. Why? How is that going to benefit America? We want people to go back, whether it's Crapo, Risch, Labrador, Simpson, and we want them to be junkyard dogs showing great big white fangs, so that they're fighting for the constituency here in Idaho, for what you and I want. Not to get along and play goody two-shoes, let's go have a burger and a brew after work. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we should all get together, and every night at 5 o'clock in the House and also the Senate, everybody should start singing Kumbaya. Let's all go have a brewski. Let's all sit down and have a pajama party, and let's just really get along. How ridiculous. Your thoughts, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. There's a man running for Minidoka County Sheriff that wants your vote on May 20th, and that's Ken Menzel for Minidoka County Sheriff. He believes in enforcing the law based on respect for individual rights and a commitment to the safety of each and every citizen. And he wants to maintain high ethical and performance standards for himself and the entire staff of the Minidoka County Sheriff's Office. A man that's been a detective, undercover narcotics officer, patrol supervisor, knows police work. Ken Menzel running for Minidoka County Sheriff wants your vote on May 20th. Paid for by Elaine Stevenson, Treasurer. All right, come on. Don't make yourself a stranger. Call me on the landline. Let me know what your thinking is this morning. And while I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, Maisie, you betcha, Penetron Soil Conditioner by Maisie, has a 20-year proven record of increasing yield and quality of all Idaho crops. Here's what I like to say: speeding germination, reducing crusting, improving stand, stimulating root growth and microbial activity, and it saves water. It saves irrigation water. The water savings alone will pay for the cost of the product. I'm not kidding. Larger crop yields, better quality with Penetron Soil Conditioner by Maisie. Get the original. Get the good stuff. Contact your fertilizer dealer. There's an E in there. Contact your fertilizer dealer and crop advisor today for Penetron by Maisie. Okay, now it's your turn. I'd like to hear what your thoughts and comments are about various subjects. Let's see what else have we got in the news. Oh, my goodness sakes. Millions and millions and millions of our dollars, are going to waste.
Well, that one happened early.
I'm not happy. Go ahead. I'm all set.
All right, here we go.
And like I was saying just moments ago, millions and millions and millions of dollars, before I was rudely cut off again by the phone company, I have no idea why, are going to waste by our government. As to the matter of fact, there's a book out, and it's called, I got to get the name of the book here. I had it. The Pig Book. The Pig Book. In other words, it's all about pork spending that's unnecessary. $2.7 billion a year, minimum, is being wasted of your money and my money on pork items that don't make a bit of sense. And some of them that I jotted down this morning, in addition to what is very famous, remember the commercial that they showed the shrimp on a treadmill, and they spent like $3 million on that study just to see how long that shrimp would be on that treadmill? Well, they've got other things like committees, government committees, that never meet. They have never had a meeting in the same room. And they're spending millions of dollars on formulating some of these committees that have never met. And then they've got a salmon recovery fund of $15 million. What for? What for? And here's another one, $90 million for the renovation of tanks for the military that are sitting currently and have been for the last 15 years out in the desert in California. Never been used. Never been used. But $90 million to upgrade and remodel those tanks that have never been used. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I remember years ago when there was a big deal about price fixing by the service station owners, that people say, well, they see them together and they're plotting against us and everything. Isn't this exactly the same thing as we have with our politicians?
Well, yeah, and real quick, and I've got a hard break at the bottom of the hour, and I don't want to be rude to you, Keith, but you being in the car business, there's something coming down the pike from the federal government for a gas tax raise that's going to affect you and everybody across the United States that closes the door of an automobile and tries to drive. And I'm going to be talking about that in just a minute. We're going to be seeing a gouging of the American public that needs to drive to work, the American public that needs to drive to go get groceries, the American public that wants to take their kids to Little League practice. I mean, it's going to get worse, and I'm going to talk about that in just a few minutes. We're going to see taxes go through the roof in the last 2 years of this administration. I guess he's gone.
It would be like if I sell somebody a car and they take it home, and then one day this inspector comes around to inspect the car to see if the person that sold it to you had fixed everything on it like he was supposed to. Mm-hmm. There's a law coming in that direction also.
Yeah. And again, I got a hard break right now at the bottom of the hour, but I'm going to talk about this federal gas tax and some other things. Keith, I always appreciate your call, and I'm sorry I have to cut you off and go to the next thing because I'm running late. Thank you very, very much. Again, I want to reiterate to all my callers, I love your calls. I want your calls. They mean more to me than anything. But I'm going to have to expedite some things today and cut some things short because we have an overabundance of ads that have to be played during certain times frames on the show. I think right now we have on the air Jim McCall with Travel Loop Supply. Jim, how are you this morning?
Great, Zeb. What do you know today?
Well, I'm busier than a one-armed paper hanger. What's going on at Travel Loop Supply?
Hey, I have still got a bunch of these tools left from this estate that I bought. If you need tools of any kind, give me a call. We've got some used tools, wood tools. There's saws, planes. I have router, air tools, just anything you might think you need. I probably have it.
All right. Now, along with all the tools at Travel Loop Supply, and you've got a plethora of tools, you've got all the oils, you can clean air filters. I mean, holy cow, you do everything at Travel Loop Supply.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget we have hydraulic hoses also.
also.
Okay.
And if you broke down at when everybody else is closed, give me a holler. I live right here. I will come out and build you a hose.
Well, now that is enough said on that. There's a good friend serving you, Jim McCall at Travel Loop Supply, 1050 West, 203 South of Hayburn. Number to call, 438-8730. Jim, doggone it, enjoy a nice day, because according to the weather, it might be the last day you get to enjoy for a while.
Yeah, it could be. Oh, hey, don't forget, if you need some trees, we're getting ready to dig some out up here. So if you need some, we're going to be digging them. Give me a holler. All
right. The best in pine trees right over there at Travel Loop Supply, too. Jim McCall, 1050 West, 203 South of Hayburn, 438-8730. Gina, jump in here real quick. I noticed some waiver on this line. Do you want me to call back during the Ag Minute and reestablish another line?
You can do that if you so choose.
I think I will. I'll give you a call. Right now, we're going to go to the Capital Press Ag Minute, and it's brought to you by Lennox Home Comfort Systems. Of course, the very best gas furnaces, air conditioners, heat pumps for you and your family through our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. I'll call again here right now, the Ag Minute.
Talk to me, Goose.
Yes, you're cutting out too. How's it sound now?
Sounds fine to me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not hearing any cutting out.
I am you, but we'll see what happens. And let me know if you think it's bad. I'll try it again.
Okay. But it sounds nice and smooth on my end, so here we go.
Okay, thanks.
Sweet cherries. The crop is probably 5 days early, with harvest starting near Pasco about June 2nd, and there should be good spread in Washington harvest from south to north and low to higher elevations because there was good spread in heat degree days. This is Brandon Tenner.
For more agriculture news and information, turn to the West Ag Weekly, the Capital Press, and capitalpress.com.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Good morning. Thank you very much to Lennox Home Comfort Systems and Ramsey Heating and Electric. And right now, let's have this good word for Governor Butch Otter.
Hello. We live by a simple code. We stay true to our family, our friends, our community, true to our values. Governor Butch Otter has been true to us, true to Idaho's conservative values.
I'm Governor Butch Otter. I know that sticking to Idaho's values gets results. That's why so many things that I've set out to do have been accomplished. I kept my promise to provide tax relief to the people of Idaho. It was long overdue, and I've shown that we can run the state on a balanced budget.
Butch cut our taxes by $150 million, helping individuals and families. Butch is fighting to take control of Idaho's water quality standards from the EPA. And even though critics said it couldn't be done, Governor Otter balanced our budget without raising taxes. There's no doubt about Governor Otter's conservative values and who he serves. He serves us.
There's still a lot of work to be done. I need your vote on May 20th, and I'll keep working hard and staying true to our Idaho values.
Paid for by Otter for Idaho, Cordell Chug Brown, Treasurer.
Well, thank you very much, and welcome back to our program this morning. And I don't know if the line's bad or good this morning on this one. I know I'm having some real difficulty hearing on the feed line because it just is cutting out. Every third or fourth word is gone, so I'll do the best I can to hear up until the 9 o'clock hour. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Be prepared. Government right now is talking about a huge federal gas tax per gallon increase from 18 cents a gallon to 28 or 35 cents a gallon to help pay for the infrastructure on our roads. Now, keep in mind that this administration had the stimulus money. Where did it go? Nobody seems to know. And now they want to increase. The administration wants to increase between another dime to another 15 to 17 cents increase per gallon, which is going to hurt everybody. It's absolutely going to hurt everyone. And they're even talking about a 1 cent or more per mile tax for every mile that you drive. It's going to get to the point where it's going to eliminate and curtail anything for vacations. The motel business will suffer. Vacations in general will suffer. Tire dealers will suffer. Fast food restaurants are going to suffer. Our whole economy is going to suffer because of the idiocy and incompetency that's going on in our federal government. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. You know that little black box we keep hearing about?
Yep.
We're going to be forced to put one in each car, and that mileage you're talking about, every time we go in for gas, somehow they're going to be able to pick up the number of miles that we have driven, and there's going to be an extra tax on that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm very concerned. You know, you take a penny a mile, and somebody's sitting out there and they're going, oh, well, that's nothing. But you take someone like myself that drives easily, in the years that I was really doing a lot of traveling, maybe 30, 40, 50,000 miles on my pickup, and take that times your little penny, and it all adds up to where it's a huge, huge tax, in addition to the increase at the pumps on the federal gas tax going from 18 cents a gallon possibly to 28 or 35 cents a gallon. Tony, this is no longer the America that you and I grew up in.
No, and on top of that, I think this whole thing is about control, keeping us controlled and limited to our cities, and not being able to get out in the woods or anything else. This is totally controlled.
Well, I can't argue with you, my dear friend, and I do appreciate everything that you call on every day. By the way, how are we coming in over there in Twin Falls this morning?
Oh, loud and clear.
All right, buddy. Evidently, it's just my feed line then that's causing the waiver, but I appreciate it. You and Mary, take care. Have a wonderful weekend. We appreciate your call. Thank you.
Yes,
hey, tonight, we're going to be over at Sweetheart Manor, and that's going to be at 6 o'clock tonight, all the way till 9 o'clock tonight. Sweetheart Manor, 217 South, Highway 27 in Burley, because it's a meet and greet. Hosted by District 27 legislators, Speaker of the House Scott Bedke, Senator Dean Cameron, and Representative Fred Wood. And it's for Governor Butch Otter and Lieutenant Governor Brad Little. Starts at 6 o'clock tonight and goes till 9 with hors d'oeuvres, and a lot of nice people are going to be there. We'll see you at Sweetheart Manor. All right, give me a jingle on the landline, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. You know, you take the increases in travel, and people are going to be parking that car, and they're going to say, okay, now on Wednesdays, we can only afford to go to the grocery store. We'll combine everything into one day. The whole economy suffers. The whole economy suffers. Kids aren't going to be able to participate in certain events. We're going to see various businesses that thrive and derive their livelihood from people going through the area, whether it's fast food restaurants, whether it's your travel businesses, your tire stores and everything. We can't afford to have people not travel in America. We need it for our economy. And with this cutback by the Obama administration, with the idiocy and incompetency and the amateuristic attitude of their absolutely brain-dead climate change, and what they want to do to wreck the energy infrastructure of our nation is absolutely inexcusable. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to say a big good morning to our friends over at Berry Equipment and Rental. Wow, we are blessed to have them on the air. They're super good folks, Eli and Nick and everybody, and they've got 3 locations serving you, one on Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, one on South Lincoln in Jerome, and one on Highway 30 at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. I went by there yesterday in the evening, and my goodness sakes, they've got those big Doosan loaders and excavators, and they got all the Coyote tractors, and they got the Bobcats, and I'm telling you, I don't know how they keep track of all their inventory. Whether you're buying or renting, stop into Berry Equipment and Rental, and they still are looking for some really good mechanics. Competitive pay, good benefits, and a fun place to work at Berry Equipment and Rental. They're looking for mechanics at all 3 locations, so stop in and apply at Berry Equipment and Rental. Okay? Now it's your turn. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Once again, a reminder for all the qualified Lennox home comfort systems, do not forget Ramsey Heating and Electric for the gas furnaces, air conditioners, heat pumps, everything your family will enjoy. Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. There you go. All right, give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Let's see, what else have we got cooking here? Hillary Clinton. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I do not trust this woman. I find her, she was wearing an outfit yesterday. How many of you saw her as she was featured on many, many newscasts last night, whether it was ABC, CBS, NBC, whatever, and she looked like she was wearing a kind of a Chinese Mao Tse-tung type outfit. Really, it was one of those with a closed collar, and she just looked like she was from China or something. I don't trust this woman. I don't trust her power and her greed, and also some of the things she's been saying lately and doing lately. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi there.
We're talking about these taxes our beloved president wants to put on us. Why doesn't he go through the books and see how much money is sitting on the books, like the repairing of the tanks and all of these different things, studies about shrimp and what they do on the treadmill. There's money out there, and I think that we could bring our debt way down if we went out and looked at that stuff.
Chris, when you and I were kids, and especially in my case, it was when they still circled the wagons at night, but when you and I were kids, we thought that a million with an M was a lot of money, didn't we?
Yes.
And now look how things have changed because of bureaucracy to where we flippantly use the term billions with a B and even trillions with a T, explaining the debt of this country. And I don't know. I'm 66 years old, and I'm sure you're a lot smarter at this than I am, but I can't even picture or fathom a billion or even $1 trillion. And we are now headed for over, with this administration, $21 trillion in debt?
And who was the man running for office who was pointing his finger at Bush and claiming that he would not spend like Bush did? It looks to me like Mr. Obama doesn't know how to add or subtract, mostly subtract.
Well, this Obama administration, you farm. You grew up around agriculture, and now you have married into agriculture, and you know that there is no way in the world that they're going to devise a tractor that's going to go up and down those rows, whether at planting time or harvest time, with a big propeller on it using wind power. We need fuel. We need energy. Agriculture has to be sustainable. We need to feed the world, and we're not going to do it under the energy programs of this idiotic administration we have now.
Yeah, I would say that the farmers of Idaho are really paying the gas taxes right now, and you know what? We don't mind because we really do love what we're doing, but we can't keep doing it for nothing.
So what do you suggest? What do you propose? How are we going to fix this mess?
I think the first thing is government, all of these guys out there campaigning right now, let's talk to them. If you looked into the books in Idaho lately and see where we are squandering and we're wasting, start there. And then let's start talking about things that we don't need in this economy from the government. People stand up and take responsibility for the things that people can do rather than the government.
Amen. And God bless you for you and your thoughts this morning. Always welcome on this program. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Thank you. Very well stated. Time for the weather forecast, and the weather this hour is brought to you by Riverview Urgent Care and Medical Center at 382 North Overland in Burley, and believe me, they can take care of anything: ear infections, flu, headaches, breaks, brain strains, all the problems, cuts, rashes, whatever. The doctor will see you now, not in 4 or 5 days. So stop into Riverview Urgent Care and Medical Center, 382 North Overland in Burley, or call them at 678-6996. Right now, here is Michael Rogers with the weather.
Hi, everyone. Michael Rogers. MichaelRogersWeather.com. I'm going to start with the weekend and work my way backwards because that's the information you want to know. Weather for Mother's Day. Rain in the forecast. I'm sorry. It's coming. It's going to be wet all weekend. The coolest day will be Saturday. Daytime high will be 54. Sunday, 63. So as we work our way back towards Friday, of course, you know this is a cold front, so it's warm before it gets cool. Daytime high 60 with partly cloudy skies and chance of rain in the forecast. And today, sunny clouds, high 66. Enjoy the day, enjoy the weather, enjoy the Mother's Day weekend. Only weather you got.
There you go. Michael Rogers Weather, brought to you by Riverview Urgent Care and Medical Center, 678-6996. Bill Baker seeking his first term as Jerome County Commissioner for District 1. This man has a lot of government experience and expertise, and it comes from 35 years as a career with the BLM, where he held the position as Twin Falls District Manager and was responsible for the annual budgets of over $20 million. He is very fiscally conservative and believes in keeping budgets lean and balanced, and he has the time to obligate and the ability to serve the residents of Jerome County with objective and educated views, and he is committed to having the best and most efficient government they can in Jerome County. So on May 20th, vote for Bill Baker, Jerome County Commissioner, District 1, paid for by Bill Baker for Jerome County Commissioner. All right, give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hillary Clinton, you know, there was a really sick, perverted thing that happened in the last day and a half, 2 days. And it was the kidnapping of over 200 girls and young women by a terrorist organization called Boko Haram. And these Islamic terrorists, and that's what they are, Islamic terrorists, have kidnapped, and they don't know, they being us and the rest of the world, we don't know where they have taken them, where they have dispersed these women, where they are being held captive. But just to tell you how bad and how heinous this group is, Boko Haram, they also have been noted a year ago. They literally threw 50 young boys into a fiery pit and just burned them up. This group needs to burn in hell. And here's what's spooky, and I am going to tie Hillary Clinton into this group. She had made a statement, and for those of you that are news junkies like I am, I followed this. She had made a statement that the group Boko Haram should be taken off the terror watch list. What? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton also said that Al Jazeera would be a fair and objective news source. And, you know, to think that there are people in this country, lots of them, that think that she would be a good president, it's just the same old story, Zeb. You just wonder if anybody's going to wake up in time to save what's left of our country. I was talking to a very high up first operative in the Brian Smith campaign the other day, because he stopped by because Brian Smith was in town, and he was telling the dirty tricks that Simpson is playing behind the scenes is so foul and filthy that he just looked at me with this dejected look on his face, and he said, he says, if we don't beat him now, he says, I don't know that anybody else is going to have the gumption or the money to beat him in the future.
Well, Randy, wait a minute. I've got to be fair and balanced here in my approach to that statement, because I have heard and seen a lot of the ads that Brian Smith has put out, too, against Mike Simpson that are not exactly, tame as a petting zoo at the county fair.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's such a filthy business that, okay, then fine. If Brian Smith doesn't beat him, who is going to? Because we can't leave him there, because he's so entrenched in the Washington hierarchy or bureaucracy, or whatever you want to call it, that he's not Idaho's friend, not with the White Clouds thing. He's that money that's the people up there in Sun Valley, Ketchum area, that are funding his campaign behind the scenes. That's the reason he's so motivated with this White Clouds. Because there's people up there that fund his campaign that are probably not even Republicans.
Well, there's a lot of things that are going on in political advertising, and on my program, I've made it a point that we have to accept advertising from any and all sources that want to advertise on this program. And I understand, and I'm going to treat everyone fairly. That's one thing I'm going to demand, is that everybody gets treated fairly. But advertising in general, especially on the national scene, has got to the point where it's like mud wrestling. Everybody's dirty. And quite frankly, one is no better than the other one for some of the ads that I think are completely out of bounds, completely have left the stadium, and I think that if they do more about telling all of us what they can do, will do, and how they'll get it done, we would all be better off.
Exactly. They need to. I think it would work in Idaho if you just stayed away from all that filth. And, you got these campaign, out-of-state campaign people that run these campaigns, or advisors that are inviting these people to run this kind of thing. And I guess negativity works. I don't know. It is a filthy mess, especially this Simpson campaign. I know that. It's a mess.
All right. Well, Randy, I appreciate your call as always. Well thought of, and thank you very much. Hey, folks, don't forget, Speaker of the House Scott Bedke, District 27, says, go vote, please, in the primary election on May 20th. Scott is very, very concerned for Idaho and its growth and prosperity, and he's concerned about the United States of America. So please exercise your patriotic duty and go vote on May 20th. Stand up. Let your voice be heard. Speaker of the House Scott Bedke, paid for by Representative Scott Bedke of Oakley, District 27. Hey, this weekend is Mother's Day. Yes, it is. Oh, you forgot, did you? I know. You better put that on the calendar. The Drift Inn at 545 F Street in Rupert says, we're going to be open on Mother's Day, and we're going to have specials like prime rib, finger steaks, butterfly shrimp, chicken cordon bleu, and all kinds of goodies. So make reservations now at the Drift Inn, and the number 436-1300 in Rupert, the Drift Inn. Also, the Book Plaza, 222 West 11th Street in Burley says, we've got all the special guests for Mom, all the books and the poetry books and the precious moments and all the figurines and cards and music, all at the Book Plaza, 222 West 11th Street in Burley. And the Goodie Shop, 133 West Main in Burley. Oh my goodness, they got goodie baskets for Mom. You can take one that they've already got built for her, or you can buy one and have it made the way you want it. That's right, special Mother's Day mugs, too, filled with candy kisses and brownie treats. Oh, boy, the Goodie Shop, 133 West Main in Burley, 647-0106. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Well, it looks, Mitch McConnell said he's going to mop the floor with the Tea Party people. It looks like the Republican establishment is trying to commit Republican Party suicide, the way it looks to me.
Well, I agree with you, and I'm not happy at all with the Mitch McConnells and the John McCains and the old stalwarts of the GOP. I've lost a lot of respect for these people, or any respect that was left, for the simple reason is, and you've heard me say this on the air, it's nothing new, that I said a long time ago that the old standards of the GOP and the Tea Party party could come together, and boy, what a powerhouse that would be. A sharing of ideas, a sharing of mutual values for the Constitution and the betterment of the United States. But some of these old-timers are absolutely like the cuffs on an old shirt. They're frayed at the ends, and they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, not only that, but, the problem is the Republican establishment doesn't believe in the Constitution. They're neocons. As we discussed on the radio before, the neocons don't believe in the Constitution. They don't believe in limited government. They want to balance the budget by raising taxes, and we've seen Simpson doing that, and bailing out the big banks and so forth. So they don't believe in the Constitution. That's why they attack the Tea Party people so much, because we do believe in the Constitution, the limited government that our founding fathers brought forth. And it just doesn't happen. They don't like us, and they basically have they want to put in the liberal democratic agenda on a softer note. That's about it.
Well, I would think that the termination or the term should be moderation, and I don't want moderation. I want some extreme measures right now to protect our Constitution, protect our country, protect our way of life, protect morality, and it's not going to be gained or obtained or saved through moderation. I got to run, Adrian. I've got a hard break coming up at the top of the hour, and I got another commercial. I appreciate your call. Thank you.
Okay, you bet. Well, have a great day. We need to get together with the Tea Party and the Republican establishment. I hope that will happen, but it doesn't sound like it's going to.
I appreciate that.
Great weekend.
And I agree with you. Thank you. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They are our major corporate sponsor right here on Zebeth Ranch, and we really appreciate all 7 locations serving you with the best in tires. Absolutely the best in tires for your passenger cars, pickups, SUVs, horse trailers, of course, and don't forget your boat trailers. Well, hey, for your pickups, don't forget the Open Country HT. Oh, yeah, smooth handling, quiet ride. There is a tire with a tread design that's going to get the job done for you. And don't forget they've got easy credit plans. 4 different plans available for you. Easy credit plans at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And, of course, see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin. Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family over in Paul, John on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Got to take a break. Gina, I'm going to disconnect this line and try another one to see if we can't get a better line to me, and we'll be back in about 6 minutes. Everybody, Zebeth Ranch, don't go away. Yeah, and I saw the picture of Andy sitting in his office, and his office desk kind of looks like mine, a little bit. Mine's probably about 20% worse. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Zeb at the Ranch. And our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, and, of course, some of our great advertisers like Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more at, of course, 459 Overland in Burley. Why did my mind all of a sudden go blank? A bird hit the window, and I'm sitting here fascinated how that bird kind of clung there for a minute on the window and then right down the glass. Also, we want to say thank you to Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Doesn't take much to entertain me. But anyway, also, I want to remind everybody about our dear friend Joel Heward. He's going to be on the air with us a little bit later on this morning. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. It is a business that really cares for you and your family. And believe me, if you have trouble making it into town, they will come to you. The rural towns and churches help you make arrangements. And absolutely, you do not have to come to them. They have very flexible hours, and the family will serve you. Joel Heward at Hanson Mortuary. Please call them for more information. 436-5636, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Really nice people. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you we're in the middle of political season for the primaries on the 20th, and Ken Menzel for Minidoka County Sheriff, he wants your vote on May 20th. This man says he wants to maintain high ethical and performance standards for himself and the entire staff at the Minidoka County Sheriff's Office, and actively seeks cooperation between all law enforcement agencies for maximum crime prevention and enforcement results. Ken Menzel for Minidoka County Sheriff. Vote for him on May 20th, paid for by Elaine Stevenson, Treasurer. Let's go to the phone lines right now and say good morning to a lovely lady that's at her desk looking at the ducks swimming in the river and the white-capped peaks of the South Hills. Here's Kay Cameron.
Good morning. Actually, this morning I'm looking at the snow-capped mountains.
There was a lot of snow up there towards Oakley in the valley and on the hills, and I'll tell you what, I think Mother Nature didn't look at the calendar.
That is true. However, I know a lot of people were very grateful to get the rain and the snow to water their fields and their gardens and everything else that needed a little bit of moisture.
All right. Well, now here we are with the lovely director of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, and you're going to tell us all the wonderful events you've got scheduled.
I am. We have a lot of things going on in our community. It's springtime. Everybody's very excited. I know everybody's very busy with their children and community events. There's dance recitals coming up and T-balls getting off to a start and graduations coming right up and, you know, the end of the school year. So there's always so many activities and just congratulations to all of our graduating seniors. I know it's a little early, but, you know, they work so hard and there's just so many great things and good luck to all the kids out there and all the many endeavors that they're venturing into in the next few weeks.
Absolutely.
A lot of things.
Do you remember your high school graduation?
Yes.
The tassel, is it on the right side of the hat and then you got to move it over to the left? Isn't that right?
I thought it was on the left and you moved to the right, but I could be wrong.
We have a burning question from a person that's really old like me to a person that's really young like Kay. We can't remember what side the tassel goes on.
So anyways, but there is a lot of community events this weekend. There's a 5K fun run out to the Minidoka Dam, out to Lake Walcott State Park. It's International Migratory Bird Day. They've got festivities up to Castle Rock State Park for bird watching. There's motocross over to the Minidoka County Fairgrounds. The farmers market, the Mini-Cassia Farmers Market starts up this weekend, so that's very exciting. For a couple of years, there's been a lot of interest in our community having a farmers market. Somebody has actually got one organized and going, and so we're very excited about that, and that will last every Saturday into the fall. So that's pretty exciting.
Oh, my goodness, from bird watching to motocross?
Absolutely, all kinds of things. So like I said, there's all kinds of things going on. Something else I want to talk about just briefly, next week is National Small Business Week across this country, and I just want to say thank you to all of our small businesses because they really are the lifeblood of our communities. We have a lot of great businesses here that, they support so many different activities and support so many different things. And just please, all of you listeners out there, be sure and get in and support all of the small businesses in our communities because they really are the lifeblood and what makes this place tick.
You know, Kay, I read something the other day, and correct me because you'd have these figures in front of you all the time at the chamber, but I think like 90% or even better than 90% of all the businesses across America are small businesses, mom and pop operations, family operations. 90% of all the business done in America is small business. That's really something to be proud of.
Yes, and I believe that. I believe, I'm sure that's certainly true with our membership of our chamber members, the number of small businesses versus large business. And of course, the small business threshold, I think, is defined as 50 full-time employees or less. Mm-hmm. And so it is true. They really are what make a community tick, and they contribute so much back to our community. So please be sure and support all of our small businesses here in the community. All
right. Now, Kay, if people have questions about the Chamber of Commerce and all the duties and activities and everything that's going on over there, how do they get a hold of you?
Come by and see us. We're located at 1177 7th Street in Hayburn. Give us a call at 208-679-4793. Find us online at minikajachamber.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
God bless and thanks so much, and we'll talk to you next week on Thursday. Kay Cameron at the Minnecaja Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You bet. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm blessed with Gina over at the station and then also Deanne here at the office. And Gina knows that I made a mistake a few minutes ago, and I absolutely need to correct it. You know what I'm talking about, and now this good word.
Out here, we live by a simple code. We stay true to our family, our friends, our community, true to our values. Governor Butch Otter has been true to us, true to Idaho's conservative values.
I'm Governor Butch Otter. I know that sticking to Idaho's values gets results. That's why so many things that I've set out to do have been accomplished. I kept my promise to provide tax relief to the people of Idaho. It was long overdue, and I've shown that we can run the state on a balanced budget.
Butch cut our taxes by $150 million, helping individuals and families. Butch is fighting to take control of Idaho's water quality standards from the EPA. And even though critics said it couldn't be done, Governor Otter balanced our budget without raising taxes. There's no doubt about Governor Otter's conservative values and who he serves. He serves us.
There's still a lot of work to be done. I need your vote on May 20th, and I'll keep working hard and staying true to our Idaho values.
Paid for by Otter for Idaho, Cordocha, Brown Treasurer.
There's another gentleman in Idaho that we're very, very happy to have as a state senator for District 24, and that's Lee Hyder. The best always stand the test, and Idaho Senator Lee Hyder is absolutely one of the best. And he urges you to go to the polls and vote on May 20th. Very, very important. He is devoted to Idaho, devoted to you, and serving you. Don't forget, Lee Hyder, Senator District 24, paid for by Lee Hyder, Senate District 24. Please, he says, go to the polls and vote on May 20th. Right now, we're going to, I got to tell you this real quick, and then we're going to get the lovely Miss Vicky on the air this morning. We're running a little bit behind, but such is the nature of the beast during this particular season. Don't forget, you're invited tonight to a meet and greet, and that's going to be, I'll bet you Vicky's going to be over there at the Sweetheart Manor, 217 South Highway 27 in Burley, and it's sponsored by District 27 legislators, Speaker Scott Bedke, Senator Dean Cameron, and Representative Fred Wood, for the Governor, Butch Otter, and Lieutenant Governor Brad Little. There'll be hors d'oeuvres and refreshments and a lot of nice people there tonight at the meet and greet at Sweetheart Manor starting at 6 p.m. It is time right now for the lovely Miss Vicky at Vicky's Country Gardens, and she's going to tell us all about gardening for idiots, named after me. Good morning, Miss Vicky. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. We've got a beautiful sunshiny day today.
We do, but you better enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, it sounds like we got a little more rain coming. But we need the moisture, so I'm not going to argue too much. It's not hurting anything that bad this early.
You know, I thought this morning, because there's a very important day coming up this Sunday, that you wouldn't mind if we started the program off, instead of talking about gardening tips, if we talked a little bit about Mom and Mother's Day and some of the different things you've got over there, like hanging baskets, etc. Tell us what's going on at Vicky's Country Gardens.
Well, we do have almost anything a mom could want here. We've got we still got lots and lots of beautiful hanging baskets. Friday and Saturday, they'll be on sale 10% off, so it's a good time to get in and get them picked out. We've also got just some real nice gifts. We've got some real neat fountains that can be set on a patio or something, and that can give a real nice sound on a patio. They're easy to take care of, but, and they work really nice. We've also got some little kid statues that grandmas and moms just fall in love with. You've got the little country boys and little country girls, and their little bib overalls and that. They're just adorable. They look like bronze statues, and all the moms and grandmas, that's the first thing they draw to when they come in the stores. That looks just like my little granddaughter or my little grandson. So that's an idea to keep for grandmas and moms. We've also got a really cool raised garden bed. I don't know about anybody else, but it's getting real hard to stoop over and pick those weeds and stuff out of the garden rows. So we've got in some nice raised garden beds that are up where they don't have to bend over. They can plant their small garden, just a little small garden by a patio that keeps it right up level. You don't fight the weeds, and you don't have to break your back trying to get to the ground. I don't know if I'm getting taller or the ground's getting further away. I haven't quite decided, but it gets tougher every day.
You know, Vicki, what you just said, gardening is for everybody. And I saw a little story on a lady back in Illinois that is wheelchair bound and has one of those little electronic wheelchairs. And she is an avid gardener, and she had all the tools made for her so that she can sit in that wheelchair and that electronic device and do all of her gardening as good as anybody that goes out there and gets a sore back from bending over. And it's for everybody.
It is. It's, you know, and a lot of people don't want great big gardens. I mean, you know, they don't have the room. They're living in an apartment or something to that effect, you know, and living in town don't have a big area for a garden. And so for just small things, some nice, you know, fresh lettuce and radishes and some of those little things, these little raised gardens are they're just the thing. I mean, they make it really easy. We've got the garden soil to put in them. The whole thing, the seeds, the plants, everything that can go right in there, and it just makes it so nice and easy right there by a patio or something to just go out and be able to pick fresh vegetables. They can do their carrots and all kinds of things. So it's the raised garden beds have become very popular because not everybody, like I say, has the room, you know, has the room for the big gardens that we used to always have, you know. But those have been a real handy item for people, and we've got 2 or 3 of those here. Just, you know, you name it, we've got all of the bedding plants. Like I say, gift certificates are an awesome idea for mom and for grandma. Then that way they can come in and pick out what they want, get it the way they want it. If they want something custom made, they can have it done that way too. So that's just a few of the ideas, and we've got lots more to go with all that. So just come on in and see us.
All right, Vicki, one quick question that we had sent in by a listener, and they said, what about fences? Fences for gardens out here in Idaho, whether we've got all the rabbits and the skunks and all the other things, how important are fences around a garden? Do you think we all need it or not?
Well, I don't know what kind of a fence you're going to put up to keep rabbits out, because they can go through about anything. If nothing else, they'll tunnel, you know, they'll burrow under and go through. Fences are fine. I mean, you know, if you're keeping the neighbor's cattle out or something to that effect, you know, you can keep them out that way. I don't know, fences to me don't do all that much good around a garden for the little pests. Like dogs and stuff will still get through them, it seems like. They're a nice addition. They can make it look nice. But as far as really deterring a lot of the animals, like the rodents and stuff, no, you're not going to stop all that kind of stuff. There, you know, it's a personal choice, I guess, to what you're trying to keep out. If it's large animals, yeah, you can keep large animals out. Little animals, nah. They're going to pretty much find their way through pretty much any kind of a fence, no matter whether it's woven wire, chain link, or whatever. They're going to dig their way in. So if they want in bad enough. All
right. Well, I'll tell you what. This is a lovely lady, Vicki at Vicki's Country Gardens, and Mother's Day is a big, big deal for Mom. You've got everything over there for gift giving. Vicki's Country Gardens, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. And anything else before I let you go this morning?
We've just got a great supply of vegetables and everything for the gardens. It's getting time there. We're supposed to be back up in the 70s again, so get ready for putting out your tomatoes and all the different vegetables. We've got all of our little vegetables coming on, the cucumbers and all of the melons and all that. So just come in and see us. We'll fix you up with whatever you need. If it's landscaping supplies, whatever, we'll get her done.
All right, and the most important question of the whole morning is, how's your knee?
It's sore. I just did a 14-hour day on it yesterday, and it's a little bit ouchy this morning, but it's getting better. It's gonna get fine. How are you getting along?
Well, I'm not going to kick a football over the goalpost, I'll tell you that.
That's kind of the way with me. I can't even kick the dog. So.
Well, I'll tell you what. God's blessings to you, Vicki. Have a great Mother's Day weekend. Thank you so much.
All right. right. Thanks, Zeb.
You bet. Thank you. Vicky's Country Garden, the lovely Miss Vicky at 185 South, 600 West of Paul, with the show named after me called Gardening for Idiots. And I'll tell you what, she is a sharp, sharp lady. Hey, we want to say thank you to Senator Dean Cameron and, of course, Senator from District 27. He's a voice of influence, a voice of caring, and a voice for getting things done for the state of Idaho. That is the voice of Senator Dean Cameron. We appreciate him. I appreciate him. Senator Dean Cameron urges you to do your patriotic duty and go vote on May 20th. Dean, of course, the second highest ranking member of the Senate, and we're very proud to have him on our program many, many times with all of his knowledge. Don't forget, Dean Cameron running unopposed for Senator in District 27 this season, but he wants you to go vote on May 20th, paid for by Idaho Senator Dean Cameron. Wow, let's see, where am I at here real quick? I got to put a check mark there, and then I've got to go down the line, and I just want to remind everybody that Chris Jensen, running for Minidoka County Sheriff, 24 years of law enforcement, and he wants your vote on May 20th. Don't forget that. Ethical and honest, experienced and dedicated, financially accountable, and very open-minded when it comes to law enforcement. And he will bring many new leadership qualities, a new vision, and a new direction to the Minidoka County Sheriff's Office by seeking the elected office of sheriff. So once again, May 20th, a big day, elect Chris Jensen, 24 years of law enforcement experience for the Minidoka County Sheriff, paid for by the citizens for Chris Jensen, Barbara Jensen, treasurer. There you go. Where in the world, good heavens, where'd all these dogs come from anyway? Holy buckets, we got dogs running all over the place. My goodness sakes. And with the dogs being running all over the area, I got a poodle and a dachshund that just ran through my studio. Here's Officer Ken Mort. Good morning, Ken. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
What is going on with Minidoka Animal Control?
Well, today I want to feature Tandy. She is a lab hound cross. She's tan with dark brown coat, approximately 18 months old. She had puppies just a little while ago, so she's drying up and everything's starting to fall back into place. She's not real good on a leash yet, but we've been working with her. She's very scared, but once she gets to know you, Annette, she is a very fun-loving dog. She's good with other dogs. Needs an owner that's going to give her some TLC. She was an owner surrender, but she's really wanting somebody and stuff, Annette, to love. Unfortunately, Annette, she was in with the pack of dogs that we had that killed several sheep, Annette, so she's not really good around sheep. But if anybody's interested in her or any of the other dogs we have, they can contact us at 438-2200, or they can reach me on my cell phone at 670-7268.
Okay. Now, Ken, how are things going for the animal shelter? I didn't get a chance to peruse the entire story that was in the paper this morning. Bring us up to speed as to what's happening.
Actually, we've gotten everything on that rolling and stuff and that for one of the buildings that we have out there at the wastewater treatment facility and at south of Rupert. Right now, Frulac is going to be taking the office building that we were going to be utilizing, but we're continuing to work on being able to get another building out there for us to be able to utilize until they're completed with that. But I've gotten in there. I've been spending the last couple of days steam cleaning the inside of the brick building because we were planning on we've got to get some self-leveling concrete on that so that we can get the floors sloped to the drains that were put in, getting the walls painted, the floors painted, and then getting the kennels in so that we can get them put in. Once we get that done, we're ready to move right into that building.
Now, are you personally doing all this all by your lonesome, or do you have a staff to help?
Lately I've been doing a lot of it by myself. We do have some people and stuff in that have volunteer when they can to come over and help with some of the cleaning. I actually had one of our local electrical outfits because we needed to put in a couple of exhaust fans in that building that decided that they were going to donate part of it and everything for us and are putting in the conduit and the electrical lines and the switches and everything that we need to be able to put these exhaust fans in.
Mm-hmm. So you're optimistic for a better future for the dogs and Dog Nation.
Oh, yes, and we're getting ready to, probably this week or the following week, we're going to be getting a fence put up that we're needing out there to be able to put the dogs out and let them run and get some exercise, stuff like that. I mean, we're coming right along now.
Oh, Ken, I'll tell you what, I admire the job you do and the caring and sharing that you provide for this, not only this program, but the entirety of what's going on in Minidoka County with dog control and everything. Give us the highlights of that dog you featured one more time before I let you go.
Well, I've got a few other things to talk about, too, Annette, but her name is Tandy. She is a Lab Hound Cross. She's tan with dark brown coat, approximately 18 months. Like I said, not good on a leash. She's almost back to normal from having a litter of pups. But she's not good with sheep, and she's just looking for somebody and stuff and that to love.
Okay, and what else did you want to bring up this morning, quickly?
Well, now there's actually a rumor going around about the dogfighting rink and that in southern Idaho going on. So I just want to encourage people and stuff and that have pets out there to make sure that they're keeping a close eye on their pet.
Oh my!
Because we don't want them coming up missing, because these dogfighting rinks have a tendency to take small to medium-sized dogs and that to use as bait dogs. So we want to make sure you guys are paying close attention to your animals. Also, we're only 2 months out from the 4th of July, and fireworks season's coming up. So make sure, and that as we get closer, and that you're starting to take precautions to make sure that your family member and that your dog and stuff and that is in a safe place and stuff and that and is not running off. We actually went through our records, and we picked up several dogs on July 5th because they had ran off and that due to the fireworks.
Ken, I'm going to ask you a favor, because you just touched on the subject a moment ago that absolutely sickens me about dog fighting. I want you to call me at my home on my cell phone, if you would, after the program, and I want to arrange for a special segment just on what you talked about, because I think it bears much more scrutiny than what we can give it in a quick 5-minute program.
Oh, no problem. Might be my pleasure, Jeff.
No, it'd be my pleasure, because I tell you what, you're talking about a heinous act that I think absolutely, if they catch these guys, they ought to literally throw them in jail and throw away the key.
Yeah, and there is a thing out there and stuff and that talks. I've actually had a few flyers and that I've seen that actually talk about what kind of if anybody and stuff and that has any information and stuff and that leading to the breaking up and arresting of these dogfighting rinks and stuff and that, there is a reward out there for that.
Absolutely.
I don't remember exactly how much it is, but there is a reward. I mean, and it's something that everybody's trying to really crack down on. Gina's just telling me it's $5,000 reward for that.
All right. Seriously, you call me after the program if you would, and we'll make arrangements to have you come on the program and talk at greater length on that subject, okay?
Okay, sounds great.
Hey, Ken, God bless you, man. Who let all these dogs out anyway? There we have Officer Ken Moore with Minidoka Animal Control and Dog Nation. Good morning. Hey, before we go to our next guest, I want to remind everybody about Cameron and Siemens Insurance, and they're located on Highway 24 over in Rupert. Life insurance. Don't put it on the back burner. I know you said the other night you were talking to your lovely wife, and you said, well, yeah, you know what? We ought to take care of that one of these days. Well, one of these days is here now. One never knows. All the health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, take care of it now. Call them at 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Dean Cameron, Todd Siemens, serving you. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Really, really good folks. Don't forget, Representative Fred Wood running unopposed for representative in District 27. This man really, really cares. Fred listens and works for the people of District 27, protecting Idaho's water, creating a positive economic environment, and absolutely one of our best legislators in the state, Fred Wood. And he encourages each and every one of us to go vote on May 20th. Very, very important to show that you care and are willing to take charge of your future for the state of Idaho. Representative Fred Wood urging you to go vote on May 20th. Paid for by Representative Fred Wood of District 27. We're going to have Rita on the phone just momentarily. Rita Ramsey is sitting there waiting cautiously and optimistically about all the different things we're going to be talking about. But I quickly want to remind everybody that don't forget Lennox Home Comfort Systems. Whether it is a gas furnace, air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will always enjoy the comfort thanks to our dear friends that handle the Lennox Home Comfort Systems, and that's Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Woo! Rita, we're busy, we're swamped. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good. How are you?
Absolutely tearing my hair out, but I'm starting to get a little bald spot.
There's only so much that you can pull out before you got to dive for cover, huh?
Rita, you, and I say this many, many times, but you and I are a lot alike. You, and I say this in respect, are a news junkie like I am, and you follow things, remember things, and take remembrance of what's going on and kind of file it away. I was talking in the first hour about John Boehner, and I want to mention this to you and see what your response is. But a year ago, John Boehner was caught on tape doing an ABC interview, and they asked him about Barack Hussein Obama as president, and he was so pleasant in his regard of Obama and how honest he was, and just absolutely how he trusted him implicitly, and wow. And it goes back to what I was saying on the program many times. Here he is. He gets in front of the cameras and he says, oh, we got to change this. Oh, we've got to stop this. Oh, we can't trust this administration. Oh, my goodness, the president lied to us. And it seems like at 5 o'clock they all sit down and have a beer, and I'm sick of this attitude. What are your responses to this?
Well, that's what's wrong with our government, is that we've got all of these politicians who think that it's their destiny to be in Washington, or in Idaho's case in Boise, the majority of their career, and they can just do what they want. And when the people say we don't want something, they'll say I'm here and I make the decisions and you'll listen to me. And that's why it's important that we make changes. The founders never in their wildest dreams thought that there would be people in Washington spending 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, even a lot of them. It was kind of like, okay, take 2 terms and then go back to your business. And in fact, there was a lot of discussion about it. Ben Franklin was really concerned about it because he said, you don't want to pay them enough money to where it's lucrative for them to stay. We'll pay them just enough to get them by, pay their expenses, and then they can go back home, because we don't want them to be here forever. We don't want them to be politicians that will spend their whole life here, because then they become tyrannical and they think they start owning the place. And so that's why it really is important to have some new blood and some turnovers and some people who come with some new views and make some changes where changes need to be made.
Well, May 20th is a big day. It's a very important day, and it's time for the people to jump up out of their chairs and go vote. Rita, you and I have talked about this many years on this program that you've been calling in and being a part of my show. The voter apathy has got to stop. I'm sick and tired of hearing about a 21, 22, or 23% voter turnout. We've got to get people out to go to the polls.
Do you know what North Carolina's turnout was Tuesday?
I'm scared to ask.
16.16%.
I don't understand why.
Because people are too darn lazy to go out and do it. They go, oh, I won't make a difference. Well, you know what? You can make a difference. But on the other hand, you know what? If you're uninformed, don't go vote.
Well, I agree with that statement of if you're not informed, don't go vote, because you're going to cancel out a smart vote. But on the other hand, laziness. This is the thing that I've heard people, you have to, my foot hurt, but they just got done playing 18 holes of golf. Well, Aunt Martha's in the hospital. Well, go see her and then go vote. I mean, the lame excuses that people use to go vote, not go vote, is absolutely, it's repulsive.
Well, that's all it is just an excuse. They're not, and then they'll sit back and say, my heavens, the country's going to heck. we can't, nothing's working. I don't like this. I don't like that happened. Oh, my heavens, when did that come down? Well, you know what? If you would have learned the facts, gone and voted and made a difference, maybe a whole bunch of you who did the same thing would make a difference. But it really does bother me that people won't feel like that it's important enough of a thing to go and vote. I don't know, maybe I'm just sitting on the edge here, but I really feel like that our country is in trouble. We are in bad trouble. And a lot of it has come down through our politicians who think everything's wonderful as long as we can just keep enlisting bill after bill after bill. And oh, by the way, just because it costs taxpayers more money, and they're not sitting back saying, you know what, we are in big trouble. We need to go through and we need to cut spending. We need to cut regulations so that businesses can work. We need to do things so that it'll get our economy moving. But right now, I think that a number of the politicians, and I think that's possibly on the Republican side in some circumstances, just feel like, oh, well, as long as I'm in charge, everything will be wonderful, instead of saying, you know what, we really are in trouble, and we better start making some changes because we're going to be going down if we don't. Yeah. And they're just ignoring it. They're the ones that are in a la-la world.
Rita, there it is. Earlier this morning I had a caller, and he was right. He was talking about dirty politics. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't think anybody is sacred. There is no sacred cow right now in politics running for national elections, whatever, that isn't using or utilizing some kind of a dirty politics. Instead of bragging or telling the public about what they can do, how they will do it, and how it will get done, it's easier to demean the other person. And I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about what they're going to do to help the economy, what they're going to do to help the energy problem, what they're going to do to help stimulate a better America for the future. I couldn't care less about what they're going to do negatively towards the other person.
Well, I think that's somewhat true. However, when you get a politician who's been in office for a number of years and you expose his voting record, I think that's enough said. His voting record is what it is, and it can't be changed. And so if his voting record is stellar, then, he should be reelected. I mean, I can look at some politicians' voting records who are excellent. You look at James Risch. He has the best record of attendance for votes. He has the most conservative votes.
That's true.
And when I was at the Lincoln Day Banquet here in Burley for the Cashion-Minidoka County one, I couldn't help but think that it was an important thing to him, or he wouldn't have said it. But his most accomplished thing was, as he said, I have the best attendance vote in the Senate. Mm-hmm. I thought he was going to say the most conservative because I knew that. But then he also said, when I get ready to go to a vote, I meet with my counterpart, Senator Crapo, and we talk about the vote so that hopefully we're on the same page and one of us doesn't cancel the other one's vote out. And I think that's an important thing. And so you do have some senators who that is a really important thing for. And when we have Congressman Raul Labrador that has 100% conservative vote grade from the conservative, I can't even remember the name of it right now. But anyway, they go through and they do a percent vote, or a percent on conservative vote. And Congressman Mike Simpson has a 46%, so that means over 50% of the time he cancels out our other congressman's vote, and Idaho gets no vote. My big question is why would they not want to be on the same team for Idaho instead of, what would the other reasons be? So I know some of those things have been thrown at Mike Simpson and put out in the media. But, the truth manifests itself, and it is what it is. And if he has issue with it, maybe he needs to bring that out. There's been a ton of stuff said about Brian Smith. And one of the things that really just bugs the heck out of me is how they say, well, he's an attorney and he's caused his people and the things, that lawsuits that he's filed has caused more than half the people that filed for bankruptcy in Bonneville County. He's at the root of it. Well, you know what? That's not a true statement. People don't go file for bankruptcy because there's a lawyer in town. But when I have people who we do work for and they don't pay their bills, what are we supposed to do? Are we not supposed to send it to an attorney to collect?
That's absolutely right. I agree with that. I totally agree with that statement that, frivolously you can't afford to have, and I'll say this, deadbeats, because every business has to be in charge of the collections and get things done to stay in business.
Well, and the thing that's bad about it is they make it look like the guy that's collecting is the bad guy.
Yeah.
But you know what? What are businesses supposed to do? Just give over all this free work and or bills or whatever it is that these people haven't paid for? I can tell you from experience that when people that we do work for, if it comes to more money than they can spend, and a lot of times they'll even tell you ahead of time, but you'll work with those people. But there's a lot of people out there that think, I just want the work done and I don't care whether I pay for it or not. And so it kind of makes it look like that the guy who's collecting for these poor businesses that are trying to keep their head above water, that guy is the bad guy. And so, when you start slinging things about these collectors and cause somebody to go bankrupt, well, you know what? Sometimes when those people go bankrupt, that's the way they get out of paying for all of their bills, and I'm dang tired of it.
Amen. Woo! I do not want to cross you today. You are on that soapbox, and you got a machete in one hand and a hand grenade in the other.
You're right.
I know. Hang on just a minute, Rita, because I've got to have the weather forecast. And the weather this hour is brought to everybody by Red's Trading Post, 203 5th Avenue South in Twin Falls, with Ryan and the rest of the crew, the best in guns, ammo, and accessories, along with a very knowledgeable staff. They can and will help you. Red's Trading Post in Twin will have the weather with Michael Rogers Weather.
Hi, everyone. Michael Rogers of MichaelRogersWeather.com. I'm going to start with the weekend and work my way backwards because that's the information you want to know. Weather for Mother's Day. Rain in the forecast. I'm sorry. It's coming. It's going to be wet all weekend. The coolest day will be Saturday. Daytime high will be 54. Sunday, 63. So as we work our way back towards Friday, of course, this is a cold front, so it's warm before it gets cool. Daytime high 60 with partly cloudy skies and chance of rain in the forecast. And today, sunny clouds, high 66. Enjoy the day, enjoy the weather, enjoy the Mother's Day weekend. Only weather you got.
Thank you, Michael. Brought to you by Red's Trading Post. Ryan and the whole family over there at Red's Trading Post doing a great job with all the guns and the ammo and the accessories. Looking for a certain type of a gun, they've got it. All the ammunition and, like I said, the accessories for enjoying outdoor sports, they have it for you at Red's Trading Post. And that's at 203 5th Avenue South in Twin Falls, 733-3546. Also, I want to remind you about Let's Ride Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley. Open Tuesdays through Saturdays, 9 to 6. They've got all the ATVs. I'm telling you, open the door, look at that. Red ones, green ones, yellow ones. They've got them all right there at Let's Ride. And, of course, the Can-Am side-by-sides, rebates and great financing, dirt bikes, 0% financing for 5 years. And, by the way, the best of a service department. The best you'll ever find. These guys really know how to work on those bikes. Hey, stop in and see them today where the fun is sold. Let's Ride Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley. Rita, I'm really, really worried about another subject this morning, and I know you've seen this story, but what a heinous act by the Islamic group called Boko Haram, or let me make sure I said that right, Boko Haram. There you go. And these Islamic terrorists captured and kidnapped over 270 Nigerian schoolgirls, and they don't know where they took them and probably sold them into prostitution and slavery. And this is the same group that threw 50 young boys into a fiery pit and burned them alive. And I was shocked to hear this morning that Hillary Clinton had given them a pass on the don't touch, leave them alone terrorist list. What is going on here?
Well, it's the same old thing. We can't call Islamists terrorists. We can't call radical Islamists terrorists. We have to be politically correct. And therefore, we can't make this broad brush of saying, this group, that the Boko Haram, are actually terrorists because this is a list of things that they have done. We have to totally turn our head to it, just like the Muslim Brotherhood is just welcomed right into the White House. They're welcomed right into the administration with appointed positions, and yet it kind of makes you wonder, okay, what kind of ties do they really have? We live in a world where you won't call wrong and right. It's like, well, we're going to call the right things wrong and the wrong things right, and then we all get confused and don't know whether we're coming or going. And all it is it's a deal about control. And so it's like, well, if we don't call them terrorists, maybe they'll be one of our allies sometime. But if we call them terrorists, there's a whole bunch of other people right here in the United States, maybe even in my administration, who would be offended, and boy, we're going to be in trouble with that. So it doesn't matter the harm that they can inflict on somebody or a group of people. They're just going to keep doing it, and people in Washington who have this sense of, well, let's just ignore, things that are going on, kind of like with Benghazi and tons of other things, and then an attorney general who says, well, we're only going to enforce the laws that we think are the ones that we like or that we think are fair, because we're not going to enforce any other laws. And, oh, by the way, you attorneys general, you don't have to enforce them either in your various states. It's all out of control, and it's upside down, and people need to wake up and start doing something.
Rita, let me ask you this question, and a lot of people won't touch this question because they'll think you're anti-humanitarian, me, when I ask this. But, Obama said that he is going to send envoys and also troops over to Africa, to Lagos, Nigeria, and help with the investigation of where these 270 Nigerian schoolgirls were and are. Isn't that, in some respects, without an invitation and without the government of Nigeria basically giving the okay, isn't that basically kind of an invasion of a foreign country, and it could open up a can of worms for our troops to be on the ground over there?
I guess if they don't want us to come, it is. But on the second part of that question, I think it's good that we would go over there to help them if they're requesting it. If they're not, we've got no business doing it. We just can't. But where's the envoy that they're sending to Mexico to help get that Marine that made the wrong turn in San Diego back?
Yeah. And, yesterday I commented on that on the program, and I said it's so stupid, frivolous, and ambiguous. We let Mexico basically dictate to us who's going to come across the border any time of the day, 24/7, 365. Oh, welcome arms, here they are. But one of our soldiers, one of our citizens makes a wrong turn, gets lost, admits it, stops, and asks for help, and they arrest him and throw him in prison in chains? Rita, this isn't right.
Well, it's not, and I can't even remember. We drove up to Rexburg last night, and we were coming home kind of late, and I was listening to, I think it was on Fox. It might have been on Patriot Radio, but I can't really remember. But whoever it was, and it'll start coming back to me in a minute maybe, is that he was talking about we've got all of these people that are coming across the border. Thousands of them are coming from Mexico, and they're actually members of the gangs that are out to enforce drug cartel stuff. And there's a bunch of them that they found over in Minnesota that are out enforcing the cartel's laws,
right,
and causing all kinds of stuff. And we never stop any of them. We never ask them. We don't want to enforce anything on them, and we know that they are, because when they have actually caught some of them, captured them, or killed them, they know that they're part of those gangs that are here, and there's just literally thousands of them, up into the probably million mark, that are invading our country, and we don't feel any reason to say, hey, you're not coming in here, you're affiliated with these bad groups.
One thing I want to talk about real quick, and I've only got 2 minutes left, so keep your remarks relatively short, and I'm sorry I'm running out of time. But, Rita, this investigation into the scandal with Lois Lerner and the IRS and the absolutely thumbing their nose at this congressional hearing, etc., the IRS, basically it's just absolutely laughable that we, the American public, are subjected to fear and intimidation by them, but when they do something wrong, and they absolutely are held accountable by no one. This is a farce.
Well, it is, and that's another reason why the Department of Justice, which the top man at the thing is Eric Holder, he will do the same thing with her on contempt of Congress that he did with himself, and that is absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And so even though it is issued and it has been, condemned, I think absolutely nothing will happen. Now, if it was a Republican and they had done something to one of the abortion groups or one of the Al Sharpton groups or something like that, it'd be a whole different story. But it's just they're the wrong party, and that's politics as usual, and that's why we need changes.
Absolutely. Real quick, what's going on with the Tea Party? I've got about 45 seconds left.
Well, tonight we have Tea Party meeting. It'll be at 7 o'clock at the City of Burley. Actually, in one of the newspapers it says the City of Rupert, but it's at the City of Burley. We're going to have a sheriff's forum with the sheriff's candidates from Minidoka County, and they will be kind of giving their platform. And then after that, we are going to have a meeting to do a plan of attack on getting the last word out on the candidates and what needs to be done, where things need to go, and what we need to do as citizens. So it would be good if there were a lot of people that would come and say, I'm ready to pound the dirt for a couple of weeks here, and let's see if we can make some changes in our primary election. All right. Rita Ramsey, always a pleasure to talk to you. I appreciate the information with you this morning. God bless, and we'll see you next Thursday. Okay, thanks, Zeb. You have a good one. Thank you very, very much. I really enjoy that lady. Rita Ramsey on our program every Thursday at 9:30. Thank you very much, Rita. We appreciate it. Oh, I don't even have to ask. Over at the studio, Gina's sitting there, and she's just absolutely, her hands are clenched together, knuckles are white, jaw is clenched, she's got a little bit of the shakes, and she says, I'm hungry and I'm starving to death. Well, so am I. Isn't that true, Gina?
We're at this time, you and I are always hungry and starving to death.
Yeah, well, I hope I didn't over-dramatize exactly how you look. I'm watching you on camera.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I installed a little mini camera, and I'm not going to tell you where it is.
Okay.
And that is a nice sweatshirt that you're wearing.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
I hope it is. Anyway, don't forget, if you're hungry and starving to death, we'll tell you to go to Taco Bandito at 2301 Overland in Burley with a listen to this, Southern baked burrito, either soft shell or grilled shell, either chicken or steak, made just a special way that Kip knows how. Oh, he is the master of the Southern baked burrito. He is the king. Stop into Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland and Burley. They got so much good food on the menu. The taco salad burrito, chicken BLT burrito, everything at Taco Bandito. How about we stop over to Burgers, etc.? Well, and they got 2 locations. Listen to this. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 North Overland in Burley. Oh, my goodness. Hamburgers, cheeseburgers, all kinds of salads and snacks and desserts. And every Sunday at the Burley location, they got a shrimp dinner special. Wow, I'm telling you, you're going to love Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. Now, let's move on over to Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Food made the way you like it. And they had their French fries voted the best French fries in Mini-Cassia area. Oh my! Fresh hand-cut French fries, either steak fries or regular fries, and hand-patted hamburger patties made daily with love. I tell you what, stop in, and they've got Mother's Day specials on Friday and Saturday of this week. What a great day! Early. Take her out to Friday and Saturday evening dining at Steve-O's. Mom's going to think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. So be sure and stop over to Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. I love this place. How about Duck Uglies? I love the name. 163 West Highway 30 in Burley, right next to Berry Equipment and Rental. And they've got a new menu that has ribeye steaks and New York steaks and shrimp and salmon and battered cod and sandwiches like a gyro chicken bacon ranch and a Philly cheesesteak. Oh, my, it's good. And Duck Uglies is kid and family friendly. You better stop in. They're going to be open for Mother's Day from 11 to 7. Don't forget. And they're going to have prime rib and all the trimmings at Duck Uglies on Highway 30. And last but not least, the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, my goodness sakes. They've got all the delicious, famous Farmer Brown burgers, the ranch burgers, the combo meals like 3-piece fish and chips. Almost bit my tongue with a small fry, only $7 1/4. And they've got every flavor of milkshake known to mankind. You're going to love it. Please stop in and enjoy the great food at the AC Drive-In. Years and years and years of serving you at 601 East Main in Burley. And those are just a few places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. Well, we are back on the air. No thanks to whomever decided twice this morning to cut us off, but thanks to a wonderful board operator, Gina. We're back on the air, hour number 3. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great friends and advertisers we'll be talking to in just a moment. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more at 459 Overland in Burley. And, of course, our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Don't forget, coming up on May 20th, the primaries, and Chris Jensen wants your vote for Minidoka County Sheriff. 24 years of law experience. And he says, I'm ethical and honest, experienced and dedicated, and I can be held financially accountable. I want the best for Minidoka County, security in our schools, and a zero tolerance for drugs and gangs. 24 years, like I said, of law enforcement experience, and he wants to bring new leadership, a new vision, and a new direction to the Minidoka County Sheriff's Office by seeking the elected office of Sheriff. Vote on May 20th for Chris Jensen, Minidoka County Sheriff, paid for by the citizens for Chris Jensen, Barbara Jensen, Treasurer. Also, want to remind everybody, too, where in the world did my other piece of paper go? Here it is. Don't forget our friends at the Chadwick Sports Grill, and that's at 139 West Main in Burley. And today, chicken Alfredo with super salad, just $9.95. Love chicken Alfredo. And it's going to be delicious as always. The food is. The menu is fantastic. The service is great. You're going to love the environment in there. All the wall hangings and the pictures and everything. I love going in there. And that's the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. You stop in and see them today. All right, at this time, we're going to head on down to our friends at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. And I have not got a clue who I'm talking to. That makes it more interesting. Good morning, and sign in, please.
Good morning, Zeb. Brent here with you. Beautiful day out.
Well, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and we have the Kingpin from Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more. What is happening over there this morning?
Well, first of all, we want to thank everyone for voting us #1 furniture store in the Mini-Cassia area. We appreciate everyone's vote of confidence, and we're going to continue to do our very best to serve everyone here in this area, in the Mini-Cassia and the Twin Falls area. And big thank you to everyone for that. Also, we want to welcome everyone, especially just in perfect timing for Mother's Day. We're in the midst of our Flex Deal factory authorized sale. Now, we've carried Flex Steel for years, and it is as fine a furniture as there is available. It's made in the U.S., and it's so reasonably priced. And we start out with a wonderful group of occasional tables that we've just received. We have your choice just at $3.99. We have those that are kind of eclectic. We have traditional. We have country. We have glass top. We have lift top tables, so a terrific selection. And then we've got a wonderful selection, the largest we've ever had in our motion department of Flex Steel furniture, sofas, love seats with those reclining footrests. Also, we've got a nice selection of the power chairs. You just touch the button and power it right up to the position you'd like to be in.
Holy smokes, you've got everything over there. You're the only person I've ever met in the furniture business that makes everything sound so delicious.
Well, it is, and comfortable. We have a saying here that is that sitting is believing.
No, I like that.
And we want to welcome everyone in to take advantage of that. Hey, some other new things we have going on. Can I share those with you?
Yes, sir, please.
Right now is one of the best times of the year to select your window coverings and get your very best buys. We have every company participating with us with the deepest discounts of the year. Now, I don't think you can go anywhere else in our area and find custom draperies.
Mm-hmm.
Have a person with expertise to help and assist you make those choices. And then in addition, we have shutters, Roman shades. We have the faux woods, the honeycomb shades, the pleated shades. And we guarantee you 100% that you're going to get your best price right here at Lee's Furniture.
What is a Roman shade? Is it someone that stands in the corner with a shield and some kind of a helmet on his head?
Well, you know, we don't actually have that person in place, but it's something similar. It's kind of a shade that does have a little pullover, kind of like a helmet, you might say, and pleats down and gives you the proper shading. It's a great insulator as well. But I like your idea.
I thought maybe with the purchase of maybe carpeting and window coverings, you'd stand in the corner of the room for a special day every week.
I'll have to get my costume ready so we can add that.
Okay. I'll tell you.
Also, we just received a special purchase we made of Smart Strand carpet. Now, some will say, well, gosh, I just can't afford Smart Strand carpet because it is such a wonderful performing stain-resistant floor covering. But we've made a special purchase. It is pure Smart Strand. It is soft, and it is going to perform. And we've got it starting at just $8.95 per square yard. So come in and see all the new rolls of carpet that we've got in. Also, just this morning, a new group of vinyl remnants we have all prepared. Carpet remnants, and you know those can be purchased at anywhere from 50 to 70% off.
All right, Brent Lee at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More, 459 Overland and Burley. I wish you a very pleasant weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday.
All right, we'll look forward to it. Remember to tell your listening audience, come in, take a test rest on any of our Beauty Rest mattresses. If you decide to make a choice, say, I heard it on Zeb's, and we're going to give them a free set of sheets.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Everybody get in there for a test rest today. Thanks, Brent.
Have a great weekend.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, that sounds all right. Free pair of sheets just for a test rest. Stop in. Hey, don't forget tonight we're going to be over at Sweetheart Manor. You're invited to a meet and greet hosted by District 27 legislators, Speaker Scott Bedke, Senator Dean Cameron, Representative Fred Wood, and it's for Governor Butch Honor and Lieutenant Governor Brad Little. All this at Sweetheart Manor tonight, starting at 6 o'clock, 217 South Highway 27 in Burley. They're going to be having hors d'oeuvres, refreshments, and a lot of nice people. We'll see you tonight at Sweetheart Manor. Holy cow, let's see what else have I got to do here real quick before we have our next guest on. Let's see. Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. Stand by. I'll be right with you, Kevin. I promise I'm running late. And Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, and I want to remind everybody about some Mother's Day specials, and of course, Burley Glass. Better call Gentle Ben at 678-1459. Burley Glass at 1029 Overland and Burley with the best of vinyl windows. You know, that'd be a great gift for Mom. You know, those old, drafty windows. You're losing so much of the energy efficiency. Talk to Gentle Ben today. Yep, Burley Glass, 1029 Overland and Burley, and really give Mom a special Mother's Day present. You call them today, 678-1459. And also our friends at K&R Rental. These are really good folks at 256 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Number to remember, 678-3122. They've got all the tools you need to get your property in shape for the summer with the best of service prices and quality parts to get the job done. Absolutely. They're conveniently located 1 mile north of exit 208 on the Burley-Paul Highway. K&R Rental. 256 South, 600 West of Hayburn, 678-3122. Woo! It is time for Cassia County School Days, and it's sponsored by two wonderful businesses right here in this area. One, of course, A Child's World at 1308 Overland Avenue in Burley, and they're having a big spring cleaning sale, 20% off entire purchase, 20%. And last week they had more than 300 summer outfits arriving, beginning at around $10. Wow, can you save money? What a great place to buy toys, puzzles, books, everything for the family, and gift wrapping is free at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also, School Days in Cassia County brought to you by the Ambulatory Surgery Center, the best place for outpatient surgery, saving patients hundreds of dollars, whether it's life-saving colonoscopies, arthroscopic knee surgeries, hand surgeries. Please contact them today at 677-8888. That number again, 677-8888, located at 1344 Highland Drive in Burley, the Ambulatory Surgery Center, along with A Child's World, bringing you School Days in Cassia County. And with me this morning is Kevin Bushman, a really nice man, and he's the Federal Programs and Instructional Technology Director for the Cassia County School District. Whew, Kevin, I'm running out of air. Tell me what you're on the program for this morning.
Well, good morning. First, good morning, Zeb. How are you?
Well, I tell you what, during political season, we're busier than a one-armed paper hanger, and that's why I apologize for being a few minutes late. But tell us a little bit about this core tech team that you've put together.
Okay. Well, you know, the district, I think, is mindful all the time about supporting teachers and technology in the classrooms, and in order to do that, we already have tech-savvy teachers and administrators out in the schools, and so that, you know, we formed a team, the Core Tech team, and what it is we get volunteers, and these are people in the buildings that volunteer to provide tech support to their fellow staff members and to their administrators during the day and sometimes after school. So if a teacher has a question or a problem with technology, they can go to one of these people, not have to wait, you know, for someone to come out and help them, and get the help they need and get going again.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds to me when I read kind of a cheat sheet on this that you have solutions recorded, and so basically, and if I'm saying this the wrong way, if they need to have information about a certain topic, you make it so easy for them to address the problem because they just push a button and they can study and learn from the video that you've put together.
No, that's right. That's right, Zeb. That program we call it Professional Development on Demand, and all that means is, for example, somebody will call my office and they'll say, how do I do something? How do I make the example I always use is, how do I make a button on my web page? So what I'll do is I'll record it. I'll do it on my computer, record it, and then I'll upload it to, we have the Cassia District has its own channel on YouTube, and it's a support channel. So if you want to learn how to do something, we'll record a video and we'll post it, and then you go online and you can watch it. I mean, our turnaround time is, I like to brag, is probably about less than an hour.
You know,
and you can go on, you can watch the video, and the cool part is, you know, I'd like to watch the video. If it's somebody else's, I'll watch it several times, and I'll stop it, restart it, and I'll go home and watch it. And you can do all that with these videos.
Oh, my goodness. So are you going to put together some tech help that would be for old geezers? We could call it the Old Geezer Computer Network, and you could teach an old geezer like me to run a computer a lot better.
Hey, you're talking about me, too.
No, I don't think so. You know, with all the resources that teachers need and the changes in education and everything, this is a really valuable resource, but aren't you going to have to keep upgrading it almost every month?
Exactly. Yeah, we have no idea. I mean, I would go to jackpot if I had the abilities to tell you what technology is going to look like even in a year.
Oh, my.
Because nobody does, do they?
Well, how do you keep up on this, Kevin? And I'm not trying to be trite when I say this. I mean, how do you follow technology to the point where you're right at the cutting edge?
Great question. You know, all of the people on that core tech team that volunteered to provide these services to the district, and I like to include myself because I'm on the team too. You know, it's an interest. I think it's just like somebody who's, you know, into horses or anything else. I mean, if that's a real interest for you, you take it upon yourself to keep abreast of what's new and what's current, and it is tough. But I think those people that really have that interest in being knowledgeable, they're going to spend the time reading, you know, getting online and finding out the new information, going to workshops, going to conferences. As a matter of fact, I think last time you and I talked, the last time I was in San Antonio for a conference.
That's right.
And so, you know, you have to spend the time. But the neat part about all of these people is all of the core tech people love technology. So it's not a you know, a burden to them. They love to do it, and so they're all very, very good.
Kevin, let me ask you this question. I'm not trying to sound negative, but I've got to be very blunt and ask questions that perhaps some of the audience might want to ask.
Sure.
What about the concepts, if you will, about computers taking over our lives and taking over jobs and possibility of eliminating teachers and that type of thing? How would you respond to that?
Well, I guess my response is that no matter how good it gets, a computer is never going to be able to replace a teacher. When I think about, and you know some of the same folks I do, when you think about some of those people that have been in the field for 20 years, I would put our casual teachers up against any computer. Mm-hmm. Because what they can do is they can take a classroom of 30 kids with 2 grades above and 2 grades below in terms of their knowledge and meet the needs of all of those kids. It's an amazing thing. My actual title is technology integration, and it's important to make that distinction that technology in and of itself is nothing. It isn't worth a hoot, but in the hands of a good teacher, it can certainly supplement and augment what they're able to provide.
Let me ask you this. Does your core tech team have a specially painted Volkswagen and run around with dark rim glasses on?
No, we don't, but that's a really good idea. I might run that past the superintendent.
Have Galen drive you.
That's a good idea. He's pretty busy, but he's also, he's very supportive.
What about, real quick, short answer to this, because I'm almost out of time, unfortunately, but what about people, if they have questions or they want information regarding what you do and what you offer, what's the best place to call and get the information?
You can call my office directly. It's 878-6618, and I'm in and out. Of course, that's a good thing. You don't want me here at my desk all the time, but the other thing is, you can email me at buskevin@casiaschools.org.
Okay.
And I'd be glad to. We also provide services to the community, and we've presented at different organizations. So the schools are the community, and the community is the schools, if that makes sense. So we're all in this together, and what's really neat too about Cassia County is the support that we get from our folks, because we're never going to have the latest, greatest, but they always manage to get us what we need.
Absolutely. Kevin, I really appreciate you coming on the program, and I think this is really a worthwhile project. You know what you're talking about, and we'll send everybody your way, and come back again and visit with us in the future, would you?
I'd love to. I enjoy talking with you.
All right, sir. Kevin Bushman with Cassia County Schools, Federal Programs and Instructional Technology Director for the Cassia County District. Thank you very much. And that, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is School Days in Cassia County, brought to you this week by, of course, our friends at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley, and the Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland and Drive in Burley, 677-8888. Holy cow, we got to pay some bills here, and we've got a guest waiting in the wings, and I want to say thank you to Senator Jim Patrick from District 25, a man that's been a local farmer for over 40 years, and he thanks everybody for his support, and he says, please get out and vote on May 20th and let your voices be heard. We are very, very happy to have a senator like Jim Patrick working for us up at the State House. He has a deep understanding of water issues and a personal history of farming out on the salmon tract, so he knows. And remember, Senator Jim Patrick, District 25, urging you to go vote on May 20th, paid for by Jim Patrick, Senator, District 25. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate your support. Oh, my, let's see where I'm at here. I got to make a note there. I got to make a note there. And right now, we're going to get on the phone line and talk to a dear friend of mine. And he's always smiling. He is always smiling. I've never seen this man wear a frown on his face, and that's Joel Heward. And he's the manager-owner of Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. Joel, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Zeb?
I am fantabulous. You know, I'm so glad you took a couple of minutes to talk to us this morning. One of the things I want people to realize is that Hanson Mortuary is basically controlled, operated, and serving as a family. Talk to us a little bit about that, would you please?
Well, you hit the nail right on the head when you talk like that, because my family, my wife and my 3 boys, aging from 9 down to the general manager, who's 4. We all take an active role here to some degree. Most of the time you won't see the kids, but many times after hours they're helping me, moving chairs, vacuuming, cleaning floors, cleaning the carports, and right now they currently love to mow the lawn. I don't know how long that will last. But it really is a family effort, and I really appreciate their help. And it makes it a lot of fun for us to be as a family doing what we do here. And I perceive that it makes it a lot more relaxed environment for people to come here, because we're a family serving your family, truly, in every sense of the word. So.
And when you say serving families, I want you to elaborate a little bit that people, sometimes it's just not easy to jump in the car or the pickup truck and drive into Burley and visit with you. And you've made the attempt to say, hey, listen, we can travel to rural towns and locations and churches and be with you.
You bet. That's something we've strived to do, and, it's just something I always want the furthest person away to realize that, we're available to you. It doesn't cost you any extra for us to come to you. It's a service we provide because, we live in a rural community. I grew up in some of those areas and spent time in some of those areas. I just know that, if you're elderly and your support, it doesn't matter if you're elderly or not. If you're alone and your family's not going to be in for a day or two and you've experienced a loss, we come to you. We can do everything at your home if need be. We just want to make it convenient for you.
Absolutely. And I can imagine, too, that with our senior citizens and the passing of a loved one, and they've got other relatives coming to the home and everything to try to help with the final preparations, having you there in their home is going to make it so much easier for the entire family to come together and get everything accomplished as far as dotting the I's and crossing the T's, would it not?
Yes, I may have shared this story before, but, I was in this line of my profession, several years when my own mother passed away. And you would think being in this profession you would pretty well know all the aspects. Well, that's what I thought, but the one thing I really hadn't experienced until that time, a few years ago was the actual passing of a loved one. And at that time, the amount of people that came to pay condolences to myself, let alone my father, at his home, was just overwhelming. I had no idea to what extent that took place in our great community.
Mm-hmm.
So since then I've been very aware of that. And it can be difficult for a family to even get away with the family and friends when you have an extensive family and friend network in these communities where we know everybody, to actually get away.
Absolutely. Well, I want to tell everybody, Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, Joel Heward, an amazingly friendly, very conscientious man, and we appreciate him being here with us this morning. The very best to you, Joel, and thank you for taking the time to be on the show this morning.
Hey, thank you.
God bless you, sir. Thank you so much. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, and we just had a stranger. Boy, there's nobody stranger than George. George walked in the door. Hello, George Mask, my buddy, how are you? I want to remind everybody, Representative Clark Kaufman, a Filer area farmer and small businessman running for re-election for state representative in District 25, Seat B. This man has done a really good job, and he received the Ag All-Star Award for his voting record in both 2013 and 14, and he received a 100% voting score from the Idaho Water Users Association. He encourages everybody to get out and vote on May 20th. Don't forget, Representative Clark Kaufman running for re-election for state representative in District 25. He believes in building consensus through common sense. He's a good man. Representative Clark Kaufman, and paid for by Kaufman for Idaho, state representative for District 25, Seat B, Debbie Kaufman, treasurer. We'll be back in just about 3 minutes.
Out here, we live by a simple code. We stay true to our family, our friends, our community, true to our values. Governor Butch Otter has been true to us, true to Idaho's conservative values.
I'm Governor Butch Otter. I know that sticking to Idaho's values gets results. That's why so many things that I've set out to do have been accomplished. I kept my promise to provide tax relief to the people of Idaho. It was long overdue, and I've shown that we can run the state on a balanced budget.
Butch cut our taxes by $150 million, helping individuals and families. Butch is fighting to take control of Idaho's water quality standards from the EPA. And even though critics said it couldn't be done, Governor Otter balanced our budget without raising taxes. There's no doubt about Governor Otter's conservative values and who he serves. He serves us.
There's still a lot of work to be done. I need your vote on May 20th, and I'll keep working hard and staying true to our Idaho values.
Paid for by Otter for Idaho, Cordell Judge Brown, treasurer.
Thank you very much, and don't forget Zeb at the Ranch back on the air this morning.
PAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
I forgot the intro. I'm only 66 years old and have been doing this for 20 years, but I forgot the intro back. Good morning and welcome back. Don't forget, Bill Baker is seeking first term as Jerome County Commissioner for District 1, and his government expertise comes from 35 years career with the BLM, where he held the position as Twin Falls District Manager and was responsible for the annual budgets of over $20 million. He's fiscally conservative and believes in keeping budgets lean and balanced. And believe me, he's got the time to obligate and the ability to serve the residents of Jerome County with objective and educated views. And he says he's committed to having the best and most efficient government they can in Jerome County while living within their means. Don't forget to vote on May 20th for Bill Baker, first term as Jerome County Commissioner, District 1, paid for by Bill Baker for Jerome County Commissioner. Right now in the studio, and I say good morning to a gentleman that I'm looking forward to visiting with, and he's running for the opportunity on May 20th to be the Minidoka County Sheriff. Ken Menzel, how are you? And get real close to that microphone if you would, please.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Well, I appreciate you and this lovely lady that you're traveling with here this morning coming by, but I guess the first question I've got, as anyone that's running for a political office today, and tip that mic up just, there you go, perfect. Why? Why do you want to become Minidoka County Sheriff?
I think this is an opportunity for me to show the residents of Minidoka County what true leadership is all about. First and foremost, I guess what I want to do is thank my current employer, Sheriff Tom Carter, and his administrative staff for giving me the opportunity to be able to run, to facilitate not only through their endorsements, but allowing me to have the time to take on this important endeavor. It's something that many years ago when I got into law enforcement was kind of a goal of mine, and this is the opportunity to realize that goal.
What does it take today to be an effective and good county sheriff?
It takes an understanding of how to really fill that leadership role, and that's something I feel I have to offer that nobody else that's running against me has. I've been given the opportunity to have been mentored by many great people. I started off in the Twin Falls Police Department, and I'm presently working with the Sheriff's Office as a patrol sergeant, and the people who've mentored me along the way, Jim Munn, the retired Chief of Police from Twin Falls City, Tom Carter, Don Newman, who's the current Chief Deputy there in Twin Falls, have all provided some very excellent platforms for me, some very stable base that have helped me get my feet wet and have taught me the leadership that I have today.
Okay. Now, we have a call with a question. I'm going to ask you to slide that mic a little closer to you, Ken. Just pretend. No, I mean, get real close to it if you could. I don't want to lose anything that you have to say. Caller, good morning. Your question's for Ken Menzel.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. He's really hard to hear. He really likes both.
Okay. All right, well, I guess that was it. They wanted you closer to the mic. All right. Let me ask you this, and I have to be very blunt on this program and very honest, or I'm not even going to bother with any subject matter. The audience knows that Minidoka County has suffered through some hard times and some bad times with its law enforcement. How are you going to correct that, and how are you going to make it better for the residents of Minidoka County?
John F. Kennedy one time said that our task was not to fix the blame for the past, but to fix the course for the future. And knowing what's happened, everybody's aware of what's taken place in the past, and it's time to move forward. This is where the boots hit the road, if you will, and make a positive change and move forward. With the deputies that are currently employed there, really it's going to boil down to sitting down with every person that is at the Sheriff's Office and speaking with them about the real reasons behind why they got into law enforcement and help renew or revive that passion that got them to become a public servant and to serve the needs of the people that they've taken an oath to serve and protect. And really it boils down to allowing everybody to have establish that one team type mentality and have a goal or a vision, and to look at the objectives that we're going to put in place, to have a plan, and to move forward with that as we collectively work together as that and also get input from the community.
You know, when you say that, Ken, about sitting down with each and every individual and understanding their personality and having a common goal, kind of like a football team, on an end sweep, everybody's got to work together.
Absolutely.
What about the general public? How are you going to get the general public to understand more about you, more about the Sheriff's Office, and have a better feeling about law enforcement in Minidoka County?
Well, one of the things that I feel that's important, you're seeing this with a lot of different agencies throughout the nation. One of the things I'd like to establish is called a Citizens Advisory Group. Mm-hmm. That would be a situation where, as I'm looking at my long-term and short-term goals, I'd want to form at least 6 months into office. And that would be a situation where I would put it out there. I'd advertise, solicit for people who wanted to be volunteers on this advisory group. And I would take people from the different areas within Minidoka, Hayburn, Paul, Asequa, Rupert, and we would meet on a quarterly basis. And in that meeting with this advisory group and the administrative people at the Sheriff's Office, we would discuss current things that are going on, what our budget looks like, what we're predicting as far as needs in the future, how we're spending our money as far as, do we have patrol cars that need to be replaced, and to solicit feedback from them, what our training opportunities are, and just go through everything that it takes to run a sheriff's office and to solicit feedback and input from our members of the community.
Ken, I think you've touched on, a key for anybody in politics. They've got to get the common citizen, the everyday Joe and everyday Mary, involved in politics to speak their mind, or you really can't do an efficient job.
Well, this is their office, not mine.
That's right.
I would be elected to be the leader of the sheriff's office, but it really is the sheriff's office of the people, and they will put in there who they want to lead them into the future. And rather than looking around our feet at the different things that we do today, those things are handled by your staff and by the deputies that are on the patrolling the streets and making our community safer. The sheriff and his administration need to be looking on the horizon and planning for the future.
Ken, is there changes in law enforcement from 20, 25, 30 now years ago to today? Have you seen big changes in law enforcement?
Absolutely. Even since I started working in law enforcement the last over a decade that I've been working in it, I remember when I first started here in Twin Falls County, the people that were incarcerated in our jail, a lot of misdemeanors and simple felonies, and I believe at one time we had 9 different people incarcerated for homicide. The level of crime and the severity of it is increasing all the time. The problem with meth is just beyond control.
Does the general public understand that about the drug problem and especially the meth problem? And what can we do on behalf of the media to help and assist the sheriff's office to better explain to the public how dangerous it really is?
I think absolutely that our community understands that there's a severe problem with meth. I don't know that any one of us don't know somebody whose life has been severely affected by it and the tragedy that comes with being addicted to drugs. Certainly, prevention and education is a much better stance to take than being reactive and incarcerating people for that use.
You know, when you say that, and with the prevention and the education and everything, what more can be done in the schools? What more can be done in the media? Explain some of that as to how we can better serve you as a sheriff's office.
As I've talked to people at schools, the principals, vice principals, and whatnot, working closely with them, with the school resource officer, and the help of the entire sheriff's office to come up with a plan that works, to spend time with the children, helping them understand what the negative effects are when they've become addicted to drugs, and getting that message out through the media, through radio advertisements, and through billboards, and spending time in our schools with those children.
Yeah.
It takes a community to raise a children. We can't expect a select few people to do that. They need to understand that this is a common goal that we all have.
I would also expect, and I've got to take a break for a weather forecast here in just a second, but I'd like you to comment on, we're looking at some dangerous times right now across the United States with all the dangers of groups that want to come in and do America harm, and you probably have a lot of educating with yourself, your staff, on Homeland Security issues too. Explain that a little bit.
Well, with Homeland Security issues, really, it was long before some of the tragedies that we've seen occur today. It really is about being hyper-vigilant. It's about looking at things in our community that as you're driving by something, that doesn't look quite right. Instead of driving by and thinking, well, it doesn't look quite right, but not reacting on it, it means looking at the things that just aren't normal and being not only vigilant as law enforcement officers, but hoping that our citizens who are out there that see way more than what we do would have the trust in us to call us and say, hey, would you look at this because it doesn't seem right. It really is a group effort.
What about rural areas versus close to the suburban or urban areas? I mean, out in the rural areas, 911 is not going to be there in 5 minutes to help protect somebody. What do you say to the ranchers and farmers that are in the outlying regions of Minidoka County? Should people know how to protect themselves?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the beauties of our Constitution, the right to bear arms, the right to protect yourself, the right to, basically just taking care of yourself, being prepared for those events that could happen, whether it's an act of violence that could be committed towards you or things of that, if we lose power, if different things happen where our way of life is altered significantly, being able to adapt and move beyond that and be sufficient for your own self.
Ken, have you thought, and I'm just throwing this off the cuff, but have you thought about maybe devising programs or seminars or teaching seminars as to how you can address people in the outlying regions of the county as to maybe how they can protect their property, what they can do to help reduce possibly people that are burglars and thieves, how they can protect themselves in case there's a home invasion, that type of thing, and putting together seminars to teach people how to basically fend for themselves until you and your officers can get there to serve.
Absolutely, and those would be things that we would want to be proactive on and having people come and attend these seminars as we teach those different topics. And unfortunately for those who have found themselves as a victim, being able to go out and respond to the call if it's occurred and giving information on how to do things better the next time so that they're not a victim again.
Ken, does Minidoka County have any special problems or directions that you need to address more so than any other county?
Absolutely. If you take a look at our population and you really look at the type of makeup that Minidoka County is, we have a very large Hispanic population. Agriculture, of course, is the means that Minidoka County survives. And I am the only candidate, to my knowledge, who speaks fluent Spanish. In working with some of the deputies in Minidoka County and the surrounding agencies, there aren't any deputies that speak Spanish as fluent as I do or have the ability to really converse with our Hispanic population. There are some things in place that help when somebody would call in on 911 when they have an emergency, but by and large, there's not very many means that the Hispanic population has to communicate with law enforcement. My biggest thing that I want to do to approach that is to, as we have job openings that come up, to make a big push to hire bilingual officers would be okay. A better approach to that would be to hire Hispanic officers who not only speak the language but understand the culture, and give everybody within our community a chance to be heard and have a voice.
Ken, I'm going to ask you to stand by. We've got to do a weather forecast real fast, and it's brought to everybody this hour by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. Don't forget Scarrows Meats, locally owned custom meat processor serving Southern Idaho for over 20 years, and expert meat cutting, and also have their own smokehouse, and they are selling taste one bite at a time. Here's Michael Rogers' weather.
Hi, everyone. Michael Rogers from MichaelRogersWeather.com. I'm going to start with the weekend and work my way backwards because that's the information you want to know. Weather for Mother's Day. Rain in the forecast. I'm sorry. It's coming. It's going to be wet all weekend. The coolest day will be Saturday. Daytime high will be 54. Sunday, 63. So as we work our way back towards Friday, of course, you know this is a cold front, so it's warm before it gets cool. Daytime high 60 with partly cloudy skies and chance of rain in the forecast. And today, sunny clouds, high 66. Enjoy the day, enjoy the weather, enjoy the Mother's Day weekend. Only weather you got.
Thank you very much, MichaelRogersWeather.com. Brought to you this hour by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, selling taste one bite at a time. We're on the air talking to a prospective sheriff for Minidoka County. Ken Menzel wants your vote on May 20th. Ken, when you talk about Minidoka County and every county across the board, I don't care if you're in Georgia, Texas, Wisconsin, it's hard to get money. Money is hard to come by. What about Minidoka County? Can the county support a real good quality law enforcement group?
Absolutely. It comes not only from being able to better spend the money that is given to us by the tax-paying dollars. You really need to plan. Instead of managing the budget, you need to manage your objectives with the money that you're given. Simple things like things that I see right now with the fuel prices that are going up.
Yeah.
It wasn't very long ago that we were at right at $3 a gallon, and now we're at $3.50.
Yep.
Looking at kind of even what our farmers do. You predict the market, you look at what the futures are going to hold for you, and you buy gas in bulk when it's going to be a really low price. And seeing how that's currently managed with where I work right now, it saves a lot of money when you buy your fuel in bulk. And then when the gas pump prices soar, you've set yourself up to really manage that budget effectively, more effectively than if you would have just gone to whatever gas station and used your credit cards to get the local pump price.
What about visions for the future? I would imagine that when you take on the job as sheriff for Minidoka County, it's almost like being the CEO for a company. You have to have a vision as to where you want to be 1 year, 5 years, 10 years down the road. What about your vision for the county?
Well, leadership and destinations, that's what gets you to where you need to go. Some of the things that I want to take a look at, where I want to be at, is the need to revitalize public trust and support. Mm-hmm. And that comes with getting the community involved, letting them see how transparent your organization is, and feeling good with what it is you're trying to do to take care of their needs. Recruiting and retaining well-qualified personnel, making sure they have the proper training.
Let me interrupt you right there. Is it hard today, more so than it was 5 or 10 years ago, to find young people that want to get into law enforcement?
It sure is.
Why?
Some of the negativity that the media has portrayed with law enforcement. Quite honestly, there are law enforcement officers in our nation that have made some bad choices. And with social media and news the way it is, YouTube, the ability to take a look at what's going on in our nation, officers who've made bad choices, you see it. When we're doing this job that we've been asked to do, you have to really make sure that you're not acting on your own desires to push whatever agenda you have on your own, but to make sure that you're truly serving the citizens.
And I think you would concur that one bad apple is going to affect the entirety of the whole barrel.
And we've seen that time and time again, and that's the biggest push, the biggest problem in, like I said, recruiting and retaining qualified personnel, making sure that you hire people who are going to support your mission and truly have integrity at their core.
You know, by becoming an officer in the law business, if you will, there's got to be a benefit package. There's got to be something more as a hook or a carrot at the end of the road that keeps these people in law enforcement.
You're right.
Is it there?
That's one of the reasons why I'm running for sheriff is, working in Twin Falls County is rewarding, and I enjoy it, and it's allowed me to become the officer that I am today. The benefits at Twin Falls County aren't as good as the benefits in Minidoka. That is one of the main reasons in wanting to retire one day. I'm looking to run for sheriff as well over here, is looking out for my future, looking out for my family, and being able to have the ability to retire instead of working till I'm 75 or 80 years old, and that retirement program is just not in effect where I work.
Now, May 20th is a big day, and you're looking for everyone's vote to become the Minidoka County Sheriff. What about endorsements, and what about people that have helped you along the way?
Well, I wouldn't be here today with the support that I have if it wasn't for Elaine Stevenson.
She's quite a lady.
Absolutely.
And she sure keeps Bert walking that straight and narrow.
That's what I've been told. Yes, she keeps me walking the same straight and narrow. It's been great to have her on board. She certainly understands this political process a lot better than I do.
But, really, it does take a lot of people that have the knowledge and integrity on trying to help people attain a political office.
Yes, with the support of individuals like Max and Jalen Twist with Les Schwab Tire over in Rupert and Paul area, Dr. Bill Fulcher, Jeff Swenson, Rick Stimson, owner of Northside Welding. What an amazing individual he's been. He's my campaign manager and has really helped me get out and meet a lot of people and has made a real difference in my campaign.
Since you've thrown your hat in the ring, and I'm almost out of time, but since you've thrown your hat in the ring to become Minidoka County Sheriff, what is the number one thing that has kind of just slapped you right in the forehead and said, boy, I didn't know that, and I appreciate the knowledge?
The big thing that with the knowledge that I've been given in running a campaign is just to make sure that we stay above board and run on our own merits, to really get out there and let people understand who I am, and rather than tear anybody else down, rather than try to use dirty politics to maybe help people sway towards my way and thinking, well, maybe I don't want to vote for him, let them run on their own merits and let them stand for who they are. And if people really want to see me in office, I'll sell myself that way and let them see my accomplishments and what I've accomplished.
I've got about a minute and a half left, and then I've got to do a commercial break. But I want you, Ken Menzel, to tell everybody why they should go to the polls on May 20th and vote for you for Minidoka County Sheriff. Go ahead.
May 20th is your day, is your chance to really make a change in Minidoka County and put somebody into office that you feel will help restore the trust that the community needs and to find the leadership that will propel the Minidoka County Sheriff's Office into the future as we're looking at an ever-changing environment, an ever-changing economy, and being able to have a plan for those things that come up, whether they're expected or unexpected. A vote for me will secure the fact that the community will be involved in the sheriff's office and that they'll have a say and that there will be an open door where they can come in and sit down and let their voice be heard as they help me manage law enforcement in the future.
All right, very well stated. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Menzel for Minidoka County Sheriff wants your vote on May 20th. Hey, don't forget our friends and your friends with the best of service and tires and all safe driving needs at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Don't forget all 7 locations serving you with not only the best in tires, but also the best in free peace of mind tire protection and lifetime tire and mileage care. Whether you have a car, SUV, pickup, horse trailer, boat trailer, they've got the best in all the tires that you need for your safe driving through the course of this summer. So stop in and see them today. And don't forget, too, the best in brake service. Shocks and struts, front end alignments, and, of course, batteries. It's all there with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, and the Twist family in Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. Nobody better. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I got to run. We're out of time, and I want to say thanks very much to Ken Menzel, running for Minidoka County Sheriff, and watch your vote on May 20th, along with the beautiful and very sweet Elaine Stevenson here this morning. Thank you. Bert, if you're listening, you got a dandy there. And we'll be back next Monday morning at 8:06. Zeb at the Ranch, right here on KBAR 1230 and streaming live all over the world on ZebBell.com. Remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be. Gina, thanks much. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.